Three-player shot, rotating. Three-player shot.
That's a goal by my.
And he'll be crunched upon. Oh, there may be a chance if he ends up with a kill.
Oh, man, yes.
Oh, will he read it? Will he read it? No, he won't. Absolutely not. Draws out the knife at a very wrong time as he brings a knife to a gunfight. And it's Onic on 7.
Munyat's incredible positioning from him there. And what I absolutely love, actually, from Onic is those first 2 kills on the Boom players. They were trying to outflank C with the remaining 3 getting ready to go up from long. They outpositioned those 2 players so quickly that Boom didn't have any chance to even appear on C long.
Such a nice round.
Yeah, such a nice round from Onic, such a good read from Onic. And it was Onic's ability to read Boom on bind, which gave them such an advantage. We kept it so close.
To be honest, I think they knew that Garage was kind of a fake for them. And now, you know, they had NC Slash in a really good spot and helped his teammate to kind of get that kill.
With calling the timeout after a victory as well. I love that.
You really love Onic's timeouts, don't you? Their timings have been really hitting
like
the spot for you.
I think Boom have been kind of 1 or 2 rounds off in places, but Onic have been perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really
Why
happy with them.
Why is it that this time this is perfect?
Because you know that Boom are about to change strategy once the next buy comes out, because they were caught off not via aim, but via positioning and via grand strategy in the round beforehand, which means Boom are going to call for a change, and you calling your timeout, you beat them to the gun.
Boom can still talk it through, though.
Boom can still talk it through, and I tell you what, I bet Boom are going to try something pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
I would like to see something pretty quick.
But there's also kind of a mental game, I guess, there.
Exactly.
Because then it's like,
psychological warfare.
Oh, will Onic try something on us now? Will they switch things up? What do we do?
We are currently playing 4D chess with intergalactic time rifts. Like that's the level of... That's the...
I think I've got one word to describe what we're playing. Yeah. We're playing Valorant.
Yes, and right now we have 2 of the smartest coaches in the region on either side. Elmy Moore, nice opening with... In shutting down Flip Shitter as well, you lose the lockdown.
And you lose the alarm bot, which means Monyet can freely push without being spotted.
Absolutely. What a pick from Onic. And I don't think... Bear in mind, an Hunter 3 that early is actually after info rather than a kill.
I'm actually happy that Monyet doesn't go for the push here because... they don't need to. They've got the numbers, but the push will come through. Rolling Thunder is enabled. Won't be catching anyone, but guarantees the site is clear.
This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And what I like from Shiro as well, in holding, once the Aldrone's pinged him, he baits out the fault line as well, which means that Boom have even less utility for the afterplant.
But now the players are grouping up, and this is where the push may commence. Flash drives from over the wall to help the team push through. Aftershock delaying it. Good timing of it. Shiro looking to push by from the upper side of heaven. But they're still equal, and they still haven't found the entries. Fame's not looking at the right direction, but they've got a crossfire set up. Blaze King and Berserks are going insane, and they're trampling over Onic on a beautiful post-plant defense.
Boom's crossfires continue to absolutely cascade onto Onic there, and I love the fact that we saw the positioning from 3 players in that crossfire, not 2. Once they identified there was going to be no flanker because of how quick they were to go from spawn to that A site. And so with that, they just stack up. You see, not many of them actually leave the site. All of them stay in place because they know that the attack is coming so quickly. In leaving the site, you actually open yourself up to be shot from heaven. So everyone just gets ready in this crossfire. It's such a nice trifecta of a setup.
Yeah. I love that we get to see it all again because it all was perfect. You know, the timings, the aftershock, once the flash drive was thrown from the defenders, the delay, the discrepancy in pace. Now Berserks goes even further forward. Shock Dart to help out with the damage. 1 spray, 2 kills. And Berserks takes over the site with his team.
Really, really strong there. And for Onic, that momentum has now just been lost. Onic could have used that timeout now. I actually, if I'm on Boom and I'm feeling a bit BM, I would use the timeout after this round to make Onic stupid.
I'd be like, hey, use it on us. Thank you very much.
Against them, exactly. Shiro, Vandal in hand.
Get a couple of these, Severine, and you might be putting this within the realm of reality.
This flank needs to come a lot quicker, I think. Shiro, he has to avoid the Aldrone. You see the rotations from Boom. Yeah, it's time for exits if you're on Onic. Boom are going to hit 11 now, setting themselves up to take Onic's map pick. And look at Onic's money as well.
Yeah, not looking great at all. Which means they want to give it a go, at least to hurt Boom's economy. But no, Severine falls and Shiro's behind them all, and he tries to get the kill, but there's just too many. Only rips the head off of Flip Shitter's body, but that is all it is because Boom are on 11 and they look even more dominant than they did on Bind.
On topic of domination, we've got Famous and Berserks, both players about to, and have already hit that 20 kill mark. That threshold to show that you are in in your element. And right now, the elements are definitely working against Onic. Once again, they get caught out on another retake. Yes, their timing on their timeout. I think it was good if you're trying to get into the heads of Boom, but you can only really do that when you're categorically ahead. When you're neck and neck, you do need to hold it for when it's actually required. And in this case, unfortunately for Onic, Boom sort of taking some magnanimity in the effectiveness of that.
Onic needs something, and they need it quickly, and what they're doing to kind of get it is pushing aggressively in mid.
Yeah.
Boom respond with placing all of their attackers to the left-hand side, and it may be for good because C is fairly weak on the defensive. But how soon will the rotation come in from Monya? There's a bot there and waiting for it. The flash comes through. Gravity well to the mid side of things, trying to find these headshots.
Oh.
And then finds Shiro through the box. Severin with everything to do. First kill goes his way, but he's completely blinded, therefore has to replace himself and wait for his team to arrive. Monya has joined from the sideline, but Severin is still shooting him down. Repositions, replaces his crosshair, and gets the rest. That is Onic back on the board.
Boom, they fall to their knees, they cry to their heavens, give us a sign, I want to believe, but they didn't need to. They already had Severin. He was already in place, and that man is blessed, I tell you, with some incredible positioning there to actually be able to get to backside without getting bombarded with utility. Yes, NC Slasher does end up drawing a lot of the fire, but that's all to set up that omen for even more kills.
This round really puts Onic back into the matchup, right? Really puts them back into the game, considering they're already a map down, and Boom start to get ever so close to closing out this match, right? 2 rounds away from getting a 2-0 start to this grand final, and that would put Onic in a position where they'd had to win 3 maps in a row if they want to do the turnaround.
Now, gonna have to try and defend against the lockdown used by Boom here. This is a big number of volts. They need to be very careful. If Onic win this, this could really turn the tides.
Tell me more with the first one, though, and they're actually pulling up the pressure. Techmodel tries to trade it out, but they do not only take down the lockdown, but they take down all the attackers with them. It's famous now that we'll try and do the impossible, but it seems that everybody has every single angle covered, and that is Onic surely closing up this gap.
Boom, just as they hit their capacity to try and close out this map. There's that timeout. I really like that. It's just as they try and to push themselves over the finish line, do we see Elmimore and Severin show up. That wombo combo that was silent for a lot of bind, that has been silent for the first half. Now on their defense, it's the same positions of yesterday, but it's the same skill of yesterday. 3 players top fragging on Onic shows you that no matter, it feels like you're up against a Cerberus. You cut off one head, it's the Hydra actually, you cut off one head and 3 more sprout back. You're still going to get an entry on one of these sites. Onic, they have 2 more players just as good to take their place. And for Boom, we really need to see some more from Flipshitter and Tebotal. NC Slasher having a quiet game, but that's sort of mitigated by everyone else.
I mean, we kind of see Flipshitter's role kind of being on the back line, sort of in charge of the rotations, never really happening because Onic don't overextend too much on those pushes, so he's not having too many of these fights. Tebotal on the assist, but he's not even getting too many assists, right? He's not hitting too many people with his fault lines, not too many on the flashes, but at the same time, doesn't need to, because Boom is actually doing a splendid job at being in top, even though Onic has some sort of a rejuvenation here.
On the topic of assists, let's talk about Severin. His paranoias have been just world class throughout this series, frankly, and throughout this tournament for the members of Boom. Now, what's the buy? It ain't good, but off the back of a timeout, we could potentially be seeing Berserks do something wild with this Blade Storm. Remember, Famous is about to bring out another Hunter's Fury, and Famous right now hasn't used the Hunter's Fury without getting a kill.
Looking to amp up the pace here, Boom, without the best economy to do so. Dagger does spot out a couple of them, denying the capability of using their abilities to ultra aggress, but it seems they will follow through right after it expires. 2 players as well on the sidelines, one from A-Link, one from C, and they're both looking upon this, and one left behind onto the side. This is a good crunch for them. Berserks goes insane! Gets both kills, and this opens up the perspectives for them. Severin wants to deny the part, but cannot do so. Still getting the kills, keeping things close, but Blaze King is the only survivor. Onic with a good opportunity to defuse here, but the gravity well will delay. In a difficult spot, the TP comes forth. Do they know? Does Blaze King know? Where did the TP go? Spraying the Frenzy has to reload. Perfect opportunity for Onic to swing out. And that is Onic closing up the gap even further, getting themselves also on double digits.
Once again, we see someone from Boom do something spectacular for Blaze King. Getting those 2 kills over in B-Link is just incredible. The fact that it was then mitigated by Onic being able to get onto the site as quick as humanly possible. And here's the fun thing about retakes, Pavlos. The sooner you start your retake, the higher the chance of you actually winning gets. Boom on Onic are on the site before the plant's even finished.
Yeah, no, that was immaculate stuff. Good read from Onic, but yeah, this shouldn't been that close though either, right?
Yeah.
Boom did a solid job of getting on the site, and Berserks did a solid job of being Berserks.
Here.
That he did, and I mean, hey, yes, it feels like a bit of an overextension at times though when you see Boom going kind of pushing really hard for these kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ornament's pretty, but it's pulling down the tree.
But I guess this is all built it up for this round. The previous didn't really matter. This one's the one with influence. One that could put Boom on map point number 2.
Jump spots to worry about. Boom. All stacked together. They get ready for this congregation over to this A site. And for Onic, they don't want anything to do with it. Shiro's on a very passive angle with this operator. It means that if Boom are going for a contact play here, this could be perfect. If it fails, though, the lack of utility could really come to harm them come the afterplant.
And Boom have to deal with
They've
it.
read it perfectly. The contact play's perfect.
They're surely going to smoke this, aren't they? Yeah. Stars start to set. Hunter's Fury as well, looking for these pre-placed positions. Nothing to be found. Shiro, though, with the entry, keeping things close. Elmimore looking to wrap around them. Surprise, he says, as he shoots upon them. Shiro getting more damage done, but it's Monyet there to close it all out. Famous just wonders where his teammates went, because it's a lonely world for him. Spike in the middle of no man's land, and there's literally nothing he can do. He can't go backwards, he can't go forwards. Although he gives him space to move into that backwards position, presses a reverse, pedal to the metal, wants to get out of here. But make sure he can take some people down with him. Monyet. He's online, and this is the perfect time for him to do so.
Onic, just when we think that they are losing this map, just when we think that they are going to have their backs against the wall, from the grave a hand bursts. It's the hand of Neon. It's the hand of Monyet. The righteous hand of our deity pulls him out. And for Boom now, they have a game on their hands with no money to work with. They're pulling out Spectres, Bulldogs, whatever they can find with the short change around the back of their sofa. They're just about able to muster a buy. With a frenzy on Blaze King, there are certainly gaps in it.
Hunter's Fury, without any information, used by Elmimore. Doesn't collect any information, doesn't retrieve any tags. Bit of an interesting one. Did he throw a recon to the back end?
I think he attempted to. There was a dagger from the KO as well to try and combo that. So unfortunately for Onic as well, that's it for ultimates. There's nothing to follow up the Hunter's Fury that will come from Boom here when they prepare this hit to be.
Oh, wow. This is smart from Boom. They've put themselves in the position. Oh, he's taking damage from all of that fragment. Berserks. Oh, no. Somehow still alive, but doesn't take the full front damage off of that. Nadef will still allowed to tell the tale. Now, Onic with all 5 on the site. Rolling Thunder available. Oh, not diffuse off way. What happened there? Gravity Well, perhaps?
Are they waiting for the Rolling Thunder? I think they are. There they are.
There it is. Here it comes. Monyet so far forwards, ends up falling. And they're going all the way around here. They're trying to take space over the garage, but NC Slasher wants to deny. He won't be able to do so on the defuse once again. Spray downs come through from Flip Shitter. They're getting it done. Shiro, all that remains, will try and stick it. Recon to the back end, can't do a thing. And yes, Shiro is a dead man walking, a dead man running. He will try and get someone down.
Oh, the VM!
Oh my goodness.
He laughs in the face of death.
That is crazy. Boom on 12 and with a statement to make.
Boom, what do we say to death? Not today. Onic, yes they can rebuy, but that has definitely got to hurt the ego. That's got to hurt the momentum. Boom hit map point off the back of a fragmented buy of Bulldog Spectres. The abilities, not half the players didn't even have full abilities. They had to rely on the little they had, and in that guerrilla warfare, they're able to grasp around.
And all of that started with Boom getting a perfect read onto the open site of the defenses of Onic. And now it's time for Onic to flip things up themselves, right? With a victory here, they can take it at overtime, and it's not all over. But with Boom's win in this particular round, we'll be looking at a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 grand final. to take everyone by storm and surprise. Here comes a push, but the rotation is quick from Onic. It's good. Severin in a close corner, but it's Shiro to be tested first, and this allows Severin to walk in as he pleases. Shiro just styles on them and puts Onic and Boom in an overtime game.
Oh, Pavlos, 2 games in, and we're already hitting our overtime. This is a grand final to make ages. Remember, both these Indonesian teams, they have played against each other 9 times in the last year. They have been blow for blow. Onic lead. The series counts 5-4. Boom, they are here looking for vengeance. They are here looking to take that place in Champions. And for Onic, now with their back against the wall, they had to grasp that half. They had to recover it. But for Boom, the recovery was there. Yeah. And now with both teams out of momentum, with timeouts to use, and with money, let's see if we're seeing operators, where they go. And if we're seeing Vandals, where will the team go? Elmore brings out an Odin.
Yeah, Berserks to stand up, but not to the knowledge of the attackers. Look how many players are pushing on this A site for Boom. 4 of them. We've seen this play before, but last time it was a close call with Onic rotating over to C, and it may be something similar yet again. Elmore waiting with an Odin, but that's not really the best weapon on close proximity action.
Right now, Onic, they just want the firepower. Boom, 4 players ready to fight that Odin, that god of gods, that ruler of Valhalla. And will the Hall be meeting any more warriors?
It's crazy to me how Killjoy is responsible for the defense of 3 openings to the defense. Garage, that's where Killjoy plays. Alarm bot over to B. Turret on C.
Right now, Timmy Turret, he needs to have a tremendous couple of bursts if he wants to be the sole thing to shut down the Onic attack.
Well, it looks like Onic will be making a good read to move into the C site, but they are taking their time with this one. Flipshitter not really pulling the trigger just yet, although bullets are flying in this direction. But look at the back line. This is where the fight will come through, and Severin is the first to open up. Paranoia is huge! Paranoia is massive, but the TP isn't, but it doesn't matter, because it's Paranoia accounted for it. TP yet again, and gets the hell out of dodge. 4 versus 4, but Flipshitter takes down 2. Flipshitter once more. Shiro shutting him down, but it's Boom that are ahead with numbers. Severin left on site. He's got reinforcements on the side angle. Aftershock to the corner to ensure that Shiro can't move out of it. But here comes Severin. Swings out yet again. But it's Famous to come out on top, and Boom to get themselves on map point.
Another 1 versus 1 as Boom come out on top, going 13-12 in the lead. What a round from Famous, and this is heroics from both teams. We are seeing monumental reactionary plays, but they're both to one-up one another, as if this map couldn't get any better.
Holy moly! Whack-a-moly! And now Boom, I've got an advantage. It's yet again their time to shine. But Onic have denied this before. They may try to do it again. But, you know, something that reminds me of the situation, Shiro had an operator the round he denied it, and he ran away with a 4K. Well, the 4th shot will miss up against the owl drone, but it seems like Boom are heading towards them, and Shiro's position is telegraphed. They're heading into Garage as well, and no one is there to stop them. Severin may have to be wary, has to turn his attention elsewhere. NC Slasher with the first pick. The rotation is good, it's quick, but Techbodo finds 2. And now on the 1 minute and 15 second mark, they're starting to rotate over. Look at Flipshitter, he's behind them, and nobody knows. Severin tries to hold it down, messes up his shot. Boom, this is their chance. This is where they could close this map over and send us to a 3rd map. I mean, it's already going to 3rd map, but they'll be on top with 2 themselves. They'll be on match point, won't they? And if they do close this out, Onic are in a world of hurt, in a world of trouble, where a reverse sweep may be required. Elmore can do it up against 2. No, he cannot. Boom, putting them to the dirt, 14-12, 2 maps in front.
Blaze King left on 1 HP in that map, Pavlos. That should show you just how damn close this game is. You see the members of Boom embracing one another. They know full well just how important being able to take Onyx, not just their map pick, Pavlos, but what is considered their best map in one laboured but fell swoop.
We knew the series was going to be close, and that it was. And now, with the first overtime of it, we get a taster of who does best when it matters most, when the pressure is most on.
You're absolutely right. What a map from Boom. And for Onic, you need to keep an eye on the assists of Severin and ASUS Slasher. Their teamwork was just extravagant, but the fact that Boom, they were just able to make it work when it mattered. That overtime was perfect for them, and a hell of a performance.
Extraordinary performance, right? Wow. Highlight players out there for sure. Oh, this is a treat, everybody. Up next, it's going to be Fracture. Boom's pick, by the way. So you better know Onic have to bring their A game. They have to bring their A+ game, their S game, if you will, to try and have a chance to fight off this grand final. Ladies and gents, we'll be back soon after this break.
Last player standing. One
Boom up 2-0 after Onic forced them to go the distance here, but it is a best of 5, so we're not done yet. Whether you're watching over at Scape in Singapore, Quill City Mall in Malaysia, or with Zersha over in Thailand, you're getting your money's worth right now in this finals for the LCQ. Degon here with Tash Bunny and with Quack, and another one in the books. Another one goes way longer than what we thought because Onic do not give up, but Boom tighten the screws and close this one off, Tash.
So Boom Esports, what I think that really worked out for them is their utility usage. As Kremer said on his cast just now, what is consistent is your utility usage, and what is not as consistent would be your shots, and that's exactly what Boom really used to really take advantage of it. It's been really great seeing their Breach, KJ, and Astra, how they use it. Breach has been great for taking up space, denying team to get onto site for site retakes, also getting onto site. Killjoy, they flips, took care of 3 different areas of the map. Garage, C site as well as B, and Astra for info denial as well as map control has been phenomenal.
It's so good because those specific star placements really kind of prevent Onic from getting the space that they want, especially once the spike's been planted. However, the thing is, towards the second half, I think Boom started to kind of overthink themselves a little bit. That was our one round with the lockdown placement towards A long, and I think they were trying to base some kind of movement out from Onic. However, they weren't quite able to hold down that position, and Onic started to mount a comeback. That's why we went in overtime, 12-12, but then, again, that's where that reset comes in, because it's a fresh mental hit set, and you start to see Boom come back in with those original strategies of trying to constrict movement, push out a little bit, hold those grounds, and then Onic just weren't quite able to play around that. And of course, it comes in due to fact with the utility, like you mentioned, right, Tash? Blaze King, Flip Jitter, Tibotal, and of course, Famous.
I mean, when you look at Shiro, one of his main interesting part has been his incredible picks, even through smoke. And I think this was one of the game-changing rounds for them because Tibotal was taken out and suddenly Boom Esports lost because they weren't able to get onto site. On the flip side, if you look at Famous being up there, we're not surprised because you can give him any agent and he still manages to make it work. But the way that Famous plays Sova is very different than other people. And it's a very interesting concept because he's not playing for the info for his team, but for himself.
It's a little bit weird because he was that duelist. He was the raised player on Bind. Then they kind of switched roles around, but you had a point about this too because they can kind of become more familiar with each other's roles.
And also, it's hard to really predict how each round will go. You can't analyze one duelist and only one duelist. When you're constantly, switching around, it's hard for you to figure it out.
Yeah, I think one thing to note here is the absence of the man that's been the clutch factor for multiple times throughout Onyx comebacks in Elmi Moore. This is the second map where he's third in terms of ranking, in terms of impact. Again, yes, the kills were pretty compressed for everyone except NC Slasher, who's not having a good day so far, but we're lacking those moments of shout out. How did Elmi Moore do that Elmi Moore things? He's doing his job, but hasn't gone above and beyond, and it's just small meters between these two squads. See, I'm using metric units now.
Wow, the American. Yeah, it's really gonna be tough though because some of these clutch moments are just so impossible to win. This, like, especially that last round. How are you gonna clutch out 1v2 against a double stack like that? You can't really split your crosshair in half like that. And that's why I got to call back to what I said before this map was that. It's what Jess Goat says. You really have to beat the best teams on their best maps. Now we're going to Fracture. This was Boom's map pick. It's 2-0. This is a best of 5. If you cannot beat Boom on their map pick on Fracture, that's it. You're done.
We've seen Boom's performance on Fracture has been absolutely phenomenal. They're very aggressive, great at taking up space, especially that's been left behind by other teams. And if you look at stats, Boom has played this map 14 times compared to Onic, who's only played 8. I mean, it's still a substantial amount of rounds, but if you see in terms of wins, for Boom on Fracture, it's a lot more decisive wins compared to Onic that goes into overtime.
Yeah, I think another thing to note, and we can't understate it, how many rounds Onic have had to put together over the last several days. Again, had so many, 140-something rounds after yesterday's matches, now going the distance to at least double digits on their losses. The fatigue factor must be coming in, but they must dig deep as they only have no more losses to give and 3 more wins that they got to get if they want to make their way to Istanbul and be the number 3 seed. Will they be able to do it? Let's find out as we send it back on over to Kremer and Pavlos.
Will they? Will they? I'm not quite sure. It's a close one. They've had a tough time. It seems like they're always really close to them. They've got a leash on them. They're following them. It's always neck and neck, but they never seem to be the team on top.
Those are great names for us as well.
Pavlova and Cream.
Absolutely perfect.
Extra whipped and strawberries on top.
Right now. Onic being whipped by Boom as well. after, let's be honest, for me, Onic definitely were in the driver's seat for a good while on Haven.
Yeah.
I think Boom, they just have a habit of winning the crucial rounds. And I think that's why the kill disparity wasn't too much on either team. It's just Boom were winning the crucial ones. They were winning the 1v1s, they were winning the 1v2s. We now move to Fracture, and it feels like Boom are definitely on their playground. Onic have been playing it to the same skill, though. And I think Elmimore on the chamber, back on the chamber, is a pretty nice thing to see.
It is a very nice thing to see. Fracture is where we see a mirror comp from these two teams. No surprises on either end of the spectrum. This is a familiar territory. The rematch of these two teams. 19-17 was the last score these two teams had, and it was Boom to come out on top. Oh, it's good to see fans everybody all across the world, you know, in all of all the locations that there is a viewership around. But man, the pressure is on. This is where Boom can close things out, which puts so much pressure onto Onic.
That's right, and remember, both of these coaches, both these teams, are so damn smart. The network of strategies lead us into the labyrinth of their minds, Pavlos, and Fracture is where that comes to its crescendo. Will Onic be going home, or will we be seeing Onic mount their comeback on Boom?
It's great that this round starts with a 4 versus 5 straight out from the bat. Oh my goodness, it is a 3 versus 4, but it seems at the end of the day it's Boom to come out on top, and they are looking to continue their onslaught onto this A site. Only one defender falling back. It's Elmimore realizing that he has to wait for his team. It has standard chance in this, especially when he has no vision of his opposition. It's still Boom to be very, very strong in command when it comes to these numbers. And Cindery misses the mark. That's unfortunate. Cannot cancel the spike defusal, meaning that there's a guaranteed corner taken over. Famous doesn't miss his shots, and neither does Flip Shitter. All the pieces coming together for Boom, and just like they did the previous map, carrying on the momentum from the last one, they will do so again, shutting down every one of the Onic players and getting round number 1.
One on the board, and for Boom, it's a continuation as business as usual. Onic definitely struggling in the opening of most of these maps, actually, but it's sort of the latter stage of the first half we see them wake up, the second half where they start dominating. It's these slower starts, which is what has been coming back to get them because of how close these maps have been. On Fracture as well, you do have you can go 6-6 and be favored on either side. It's all down to momentum, which means our timeouts are going to be absolutely crucial as well. We move into the anti-eco for Boom. Vandal out on Flip Shitter. I like this. It means when we see the buy next round, they're still going to have that weapon to try and level the playing field. Once again, Boom, they stack up, go for another push as a team. All hit by the KO dagger, I believe. So there is a lot of info for Onic. Bear in mind, they've pushed the safe site anyway. It's going to be down to Severine to try and stop this, though.
Yeah, of course, with the trade back behind them, they know that the push isn't that imminent. They can still continue with their venture towards this B site, even though they leave one player behind as Flipper that will use his rifle to the test. Get 1 kill out of that. Although it does take a lot of damage, I wouldn't be surprised if he handed that rifle elsewhere, but he's a bit stranded here, but he still survives to tell the tale to Poro. And Famous help out in that way. But it's a cleanup, fairly simple, straightforward. Boom with a second.
You're absolutely right. Asserted and converted from Boom as they now go 2-0 up in some very swift rounds. But now the full buy comes into place. Let's see what Onic can do with these big bad guns. And with these Vandals, Boom, they are going to be on a fairly weaker buy with the Spectres, with the Frenzy on Devotal. But it's that Vandal on flip side you need to keep an eye on.
I mean, Onic might have big bad guns, but it's Boom that are the big bad wolves. And they're the ones that have done quite a lot of third round conversions, haven't they?
It's once again the big bad wolves end up moving in a pack, once again trying to control this initial area outside of B main.
Now moving towards this B site, as you do say, Dagger straight out of the bat, making sure that and Slasher won't be able to use any of his utility early on. Fragment will make sure their push is delayed, but Berserk doesn't care. He's got an ability to dash on forward and see Slasher spotting him, able to find one. Instantly traded, but Monia is also here, and they need to be wary of him. 2 of them end up falling back. The spike is on the retreat, but the rest of them have stuck around for just a little bit. They're making sure the retreat is calculated. Even though they traded equally, they don't want none of this fight.
Remember, Munya is wounded, so he would have been caught out should the assault actually have continued on that B site. The fact we're seeing Flip Shitter actually rotate rotate through tunnel here means that as the rest of the team hit the safe site, there's the threat of that Vandal either catching out the lurkers or being able to go the long way around, the scenic route, round to dish, and then try and catch out the remaining defenders.
And you can see the defenders are polarized, right? 2 per site, and Flipshitter might be able to catch one of them at least. Oh, it's down to timing, certainly. And it's Flipshitter to actually get one. That will keep Monyet busy, especially considering they haven't shown their ground towards the A site, but that also makes Onic rotate over to B, which maybe put Boom in a difficult position.
30 seconds left.
Oh, timing is everything.
Oh, no.
And now he knows Monyet's back sight. The rest of the team can just descend on to B.
Yeah, no, Monyet is left on site and is actually low with the previous trade aftershock, putting him out into the open together with Incendiary. So much is thrown at him, so coordinated by Boom. But Onic, this is your chance. This is the one with when you've got weapons. You can't let this one go, and it looks like they will not. Both Shiro and Elmimore have done their job. Shiro triples his skill core line, and that means that Onic find their way on the board.
Yes, Boom may be the big bad wolves, but the Little Red Riding Hoods of Onic definitely clap back. A first round on the board, and for the members of Boom, let's see if they can recover here. A round they actually really should have looked like they'd have won there. Getting caught out by taking jewels one at a time. You see Devote a little bit slow on the rotation, means that Flipshitter has to get caught out in the open. What a round from Shiro there, really delivering on that breach, and with the reinvestment coming in now, a judge comes out on NC Slasher.
And they were really on the back foot there, right? I mean, Boom did a splendid job to find his openings. Rotations looked to be clear, but Onic seemed to be ahead of the curve when it came to those final fights.
It's another push as a team from Boom here, and with a Rolling Thunder available, this could very well lead to a fast hit onto the safe site.
Yeah, no, they're definitely pushing into this, and Monyet has a Spectre, therefore close distance fight is what he's looking for. The flash is perfect, but there's another one coming through that Monyet wasn't able to look away from. Onic, good coordination from them so far. There's a Rolling Thunder available on the Boom side, which could be used if they want to take over the site quicker, but it's Blaze King shooting prowess to do the work. Monyet holds down his ground. You shall not pass, he shouts, as Boom is taken down one by one. Only 2 remaining now. It's Blaze King and Flipshitter to do it all on the side. Opportunity not given. Monyet wants the ace. He might as well be given it. He's done such a splendid job on this defense, but the rest of them have to pick up the pieces. It's NC Slasher and Shiro both pushing. Flipshitter only good for one as Onic get themselves a second round.
Monyet, the hero of Onic there, holding his ground, keeping the rest of Boom back, making sure their attack can only come from one direction. And with NC Slasher getting that defuse, out comes the orbital strike. Boom surprisingly holding onto that Rolling Thunder. They're potentially trying to use it for some grand strategy we're yet to see, but it feels like that may have been the catalyst that could have broke Onic's defense there.
It really could. It really could. But it stabilized and Boom back into economical recession.
And not only have been back in the economic recession, they're also in the alt economy recession as well. Blaze King one away from his orbital strike means that Onic have the ult advantage, at least temporarily. Famous and Elmimore both 2 away from theirs means that we are about to see the summit of this alt economy. They've got to start getting used quick, otherwise we're going to see them end up stacking up on top of each other and really having very little effectiveness. Early operator out from Elmimore as well, Glass Cannon.
I really love that we're actually seeing a mirror matchup here, because the previous ones you could argue maybe the first one was a bit of a comp diff. Now there is no more that excuse, is there? It's who plays this composition better.
Blaze King ready to use his abilities to kickstart this attack.
Sky Smoke is enabled, allows them to cross forwards, and it's famous with the first shot with the Sheriff, although Severine likes to swing there. Fragment could end up the D, but Famous is actually so close to this smoke. Although it is spotted, and the spike is all there. Onic look in place to hold this out. Yes, tower has been handed over, but why should you mind? When the dagger spots out all 3 of them, they're in big trouble. On the site they go, and Elmimore, as soon as one crosses in front of him, he knows what to do. Getting them out into the open is what they're looking to do themselves, but they want these picks, and Onic really are not giving them. And 30 seconds in, all they have to do is just hold their ground. Elmimore, there you go. Both simultaneously was a good idea, but Monyet, well, Berserks wasn't quite in place. Berserks? Sorry? He could do so much if he kills NC Slasher. That's a lot of guns down the drain. But still, the round is looked to be won here by Onic without too many difficulties. That is Elmimore finding the final blow, and it's Onic on top in the lead.
The revelation of the operator, as well as the instant shutdown on the boom attack, means that they are now going to have a really hard time trying to focus Elmimore, who has a tour de force in the back pocket. The sniper presence on the defense from Onic is going to be so damn strong here. 4 ults available for Onic, 3 ults available for Boom. We are ready for this clash of strategies, and this is really where the skill, the prowess of both coaches, both support staff is going to come into play in the execution to this A site from Boom.
And you mentioned the ultimates a round ago, haven't you? About them having impact now that they've been online. Moniet, a little bit quick flick there from Flipshooter, not quite connecting. Famous as well, locked into a corner, shut down. Onic taking their defense to the aggressive, exactly how you like to see. Defense played out in Fracture, but Tekbono takes them all down single-handedly. How did he even do that? And now this is fathomable. This is doable. Not all impossible. Especially Berserk is so close to the fight. Fast as a bat, but nothing they can do if Blaze King is there to stop them. Boom, back in the game.
That was all Tebosal, the breach from Boom, blasting his way back into this game. And for Onic now, yes, the ultimates are there, but the money's suddenly not. Manyet's had a great start to the round in setting up those kills, but Tebosal,
He was on 1 HP for every single one of those kills.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me, Tekbono?
And then Berserks, yeah, there's a greater luck to be able to shut down Munyet there, who was already on low HP. But for Boom, 3-3 the scoreline. And now, yes, they don't have an ult advantage, but they've got the gunfire. With that, they're going to try and hit this A site as quick as possible.
If for this win, Boom go to champions, there'll be a mantle, there'll be a statue of Tekbono there. They'll figure it out. The fans will. Something will be made up for him, because that was crazy, and I think it'll be a highlight of the tournament.
The aggression of Famous.
So much aggression. I mean, it's pistols for Onic, but we've seen them do so much with these sharers, and they're actually on the fight right now. They're on the site. Rolling Thunder enabled preemptively here for Boom to stop them from even getting close to the site.
I like how Famous they're getting so aggressive by so much time. They know a tour de force is used. They know that Onic are impartial to using ults to try and secure this.
Yeah, and Sindri gets dropped as well. All Berserks with the opener. This should be clean by Boom. This should be very, very clean. Good timing on everything, although damaging. Influential to the credit scoreline, but other than that, it's Boom to regain the lead and put Onic back down.
Let's see the damage in ults here. We saw a huge commitment from Boom. They now have nothing to use against the Rolling Thunder, Null Command, Orbital Strike combo available for Onic. Yes, it's around. Yes, they're able to secure themselves a lead, but how long can they hold on to that lead when having to reinvest even when they're winning? You see that for neither team, the economy is in a pretty place. Yes, it's a little bit better for Boom, but it's by no means out of the woods. Flipshooter having a great performance thus far, as is NC Slasher, as is Munyet. Players we all need to keep an eye on, alongside, of course, the hero of round 4, Tebotal.
It's so crazy to me that the pace seemed to be going in favor of Onic, and you know, with a push of Moniet onto the lower side of the map, you know, with Tekbono's victory, that 3K, everything just unfolded against him, and now it's Boom that seemed to have the advantage.
NC Slasher, lovely kill with the utility onto Blaze King, and that's the spike Pavlos. Look at the amount of time that's bought for Onic to get their rotations into place.
Quite a bit, all of them nearby. Although they are smoked off, they can't do a thing just yet.
Tebotal's still low on HP.
Rolling Thunder will be utilized, so will the Orbital Strike. Oh, it's perfect! Rolling Thunder onto the side, Orbital Strike into tower, and both players retreating from it all have to die. And Onic, without having to place a single player on that B side for this retake, seem to be poised to end this round in their favor. Severine brought back to life, Slasher with a final kill, and it's Onic squaring things up yet again.
The symphony of these maps is building to a crescendo, and we're only 3 maps in. The chorus of abilities echo throughout Fracture there, and for NC Slasher, it's songs of praise that'll be sung for him for the rest of this map. Beautiful usage of the ultimate abilities, but that was the ult dump of Onic. Neither team with the ults to aid them in what is going to be Boom's weak buy, their setup for round 10, and their nod, their bow to give the lead over to Onic.
Almimore is so aggressive, man. So freaking aggressive. Shiro concussed. Although somehow Munya and NC Slasher end up with kills there themselves. And Almimore, instead of falling back to safety after the pick, goes in even further. Doesn't catch him off guard though. Famous is being chased. Throws down the spike to his teammate in his last-ditch effort to put Boom in contention here. But Flipshit is right below. Oh, finds a Vandal, which also shows his own angle. But oh my god! Finds the kill Severing, but he's not wary of where the rest are. Here's the dash of Munya and reconsiders his options. 1 minute, he can rotate, he can stay, but he can go for the kill onto NC Slasher, but he won't be able to find it. It's Onic now in the driver's seat, Boom in the backseat.
In the last 2 maps, in the last series we saw from Onic, NC Slasher was the quiet player. He was the one whose kills definitely didn't show how much he was supporting his team, but on topic of kills, he wasn't getting any. This is now the polar opposite side of the spectrum. Yes, Flip should have for a moment there made that look very winnable, but look at that flick, Pavlos. Just nasty from NC Slasher, and for Boom. Now, 1 round down, but with a bye. Timeouts here would be perfect. Maybe not this round, but it's next round. Boom lose this, they go to a timeout. Onic win this, they continue their presence.
Can see a bit of a B split from Boom. We've so far we've kind of seen it a one-sided effort, haven't we? Yeah. All 5 players from one side, but this time putting Flipshit onto Arcade to be an extra caveat.
So both will 1 away from the Rolling Thunder as well. I want to see him try and make it so definitely to get the kill on plants.
Split-second decision there from Flip to move into the right-hand side, but it seems NC Slasher and his Incendiary and his bullets are doing everything that is required. Shiro joining in on the fray. It seems all is good for Onic. All is fine. All is safe, apart from NC Slasher's face. But other than that, everything is under control. And with 4 players alive up against the 1 of Boom, it's Blazer King. Spotted. They still know he's nearby, still lingering in the area. They don't need to do a thing. Maybe place someone behind him, which is exactly what they do with the likes of Elmimore. They know he's stranded. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Remember Pavlos, Onic, on average, after order, have placed 25 rounds on average per map. 24, sorry.
That's 25-24 to make
That's a lot of rounds. That is a lot of rounds. Boom need a timeout here. I would love to see them call it because they are in trouble. Little money in the bank, and Onic looking to, there it is, Onic looking to lead that half.
Remember what we said about Pace and Onic needing to be the one to lead the charge at some point?
Yeah.
Is this what we're seeing from Onic right now?
Yeah, it is exactly that, because you need to see a lot. What is great about, yes, the aim is great. NC Slasher, he's flicking like nothing. It's the utility usage, which is setting up everything here. It's the utility usage. NC Slasher, he opened that round with a util kill. It's the fact that we're seeing such a magnificent control of the chokeholds from Onic, which is making their aim that bit easier because they don't require anything else. You see Ewok just in the far left side of the frame from Onic here, trying to brief his team on some strategies, and I love this. I really, really do.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Boomer also taking the time to just step back a bit, right? There were a few head scratches there, and I think probably the first time we've seen them on the Boom side. And, you know, Onic, they've done a couple of reverse sweeps of this tournament so far, but all of them were best of 3s. Now it's a different beast because it's a best of 5. This would mean 3 consecutive ones. So far, they have momentum. Can they carry it on to close out this map as well as the next?
I believe we're also going into a tech pause.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, going into a tech pause. So we're going to see a restart there. And for me, now that that delay has broken a bit of momentum, unfortunately you can't avoid tech pauses, but it's going to harm Onic a little bit in terms of momentum. Luckily, and this is something that we're going to mention and allude back to probably for the rest of this map, is their mining util usage, because it's so good, their aim doesn't need to be on point. They could win this with body shots. It's just they're making it look a little bit more crisp because, well, they're just good like that.
Yeah. Well, just a reminder for everyone that has just joined in, this is the grand final of VCT Apac LCQ, where the victor will be heading over as a representative to Istanbul champions. It's a third one, together with Paper X and Xerxia. So right now, this is an important matchup. And remember, this is a rematch on Fracture. This is not the first time these two teams met each other for the past few days on this map. Last time around, it was 1917 in favor of Boom.
Technical pause ends, and the next player I want to talk about is Severing. Currently 11 assists. While his kills aren't there, the setup he's been doing has been perfect.
Yeah, and remember, he's IGLing for the team as well.
Absolutely.
And he's doing such a splendid job. And if you look over on one of the previous, I believe it was Haven, right?
Yeah.
The map where he had quite a lot of impact.
It was.
Still close. Still very, very close. But he was influential with kills as well.
huge push now from Onic trying to get into the back line of Boom. Having cleared that initial area, Boom have followed up with a huge and fast hit to this A site. Look at the aggression of Flipshooter.
Wow, Flipshooter's just jumped up. Shiro, is he checking it? Is he?
He has no reason to.
Is he wary of it? I mean, he is a bit reserved of taking the step. And Flipshooter isn't looking in the right direction. Oh, has that been heard? Has that been heard? Oh, they're not going to check it, are they? They're not going to check it. Oh, they're not going to check it! It's a really bad check from Monyet and Shiro to allow Flipshooter to give him a chance, together with Boom, to end up with a victory on a very low buy. MC Slasher trying to bring his team back, but it may not be a thrifty round from Boom off of the back of Flipshooter's position.
I was waiting for the APAC 50 round Pavlos. Here it is Boom. They do such a good job with Flipshooter there to get him into such an aggressive position, and it's the sort of like half check by Onic.
They don't even check the end of that corner.
The reason they don't check it is because there's no reason for Flipshooter to be
going to be there.
Yeah, how would he get there? And instead, bear in mind, the Rolling Thunder was used as well, so once Flipshooter got his kill, there was no follow-up available for Onic because they were all concussed.
Wow.
Wonderful stuff from them now. And as you look at the ultimate management, there's that Tour de Force available for Flipshooter that will come out. Blaze King with an orbital strike, as is NC Slasher. And right now, the strikes from the skies are going to be the real difference maker.
Wow. Well, Almimore finds the first pick. Berserks is now down and out. On the hunt they go. Boom. On the aggression towards the A site, not catching anyone off guard with that ultimate orbital strike in return as well. But as it falls, Almimore finds a gap to find a kill as well. Sky Smoke placed, but he pushes through it. Yeah, he dies through an aftershock. Where was that? Now, Almimore repositions on top. Rendezvous away, back into safety. He's done his job. Onic on top in numbers, and more of them. And now in this fight, both of the attackers fall simultaneously. Elmimore with 4, and it's Onic having the lead at half-time.
That could have been Elmimore's second ace of the series. What a performance from him so far. 7-5, Onic are going to lead at the end of the half. But remember, Pavlos, we are on Fracture. A 7-5 is easily able to be turned around. And because of that, you cannot rule Boom out just yet. Remember, with the experience of this team, a 7-5 being down on a map, it means nothing to them. Rather than where most teams would curl up into a ball and cry, Boom, they roll their sleeves up, they rub their hands together, and they get ready for a bloodbath.
I'm starting to see reflection of the playstyles of these two teams in regards to their playstyle, the way they play around it, the timings they take, how long it takes for them to execute on sites. I don't feel like Onic is an anti-Apac strat. I think it's the Apac strat. It's just that they wait a few seconds before they go for those pushes.
Exactly.
Right? Doesn't really feel like it. But I mean,
nice.
it's working this particular.
Yeah, exactly. And what's got nice is it does catch out teams when you do delay it and when you do stutter your approaches. Fracture's a really good map to sort of emphasize that, and sort of the echoes of these late rotations, these delayed pushes, definitely got to Boom. Definitely got to them. Remember, in our last Rockstar Overtime and our time before that, we saw, I think it's like 23 rounds. Onic, they like the long games, Pavlos. They play long range. And as we saw from yesterday, these guys thrive when it comes to the longer matches.
But let's see if their attack is as good as their defense. Boom, on the other hand, have to step things up. Flipshooter is probably thinking, this is my time to shine. This is where I will feel most comfortable. And I think what everybody needs to look out for here is Tekapodo and Berserks. Whenever those two players are together, you're nearly guaranteed that they will be playing aggressive, maybe with Famous as well. As long as Berserks is double stacked with one of their initiators, if you will, you may be seeing Boom going in fast. But apart from that, it is Onic on the attacking, now heading towards this A site, which is fairly clear. There is one player defending it and one further back towards Dish, but they're looking to move in a very fast manner. And you already see Monyet making his way onto the site. Sky Smokes before, Flipshooter with 1, looking to get a little bit close here. Flipshooter has to be careful of Monyet perhaps, but no, it's Blaze King that is wary of him and takes him down. Onic haven't even gotten the spike down yet, and the rotations have come forward. Severin finally getting kill for Onic, and this is one way to get them started off strong on this series, but up with the aftershock to the corner, and Elmimore on the backswing. That's Elmimore with 3! No, it's 2 kills and damage on the third as Boom clear the rest up.
It just turns into this huge gunfight all around the site. Players take their duels, players fall, and with that, it's going to be Boom to take the pistol round. 7-6, that differential reduced to just 1 round. With that, Boom are going to be able to move to their anti-eco and kiss their dreams of losing Fracture, at least in a one-sided fashion, goodbye.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a close one. We knew this one was going to be close. I mean, we saw so many overtimes last time. 19-17. Like, that is not one round, one score to kind of ignore. 36 rounds, quite a lot. Can I count? 1917? Yeah, that's 36.
Yeah, that's right. Always fun double checking, Pavlos. I'm probably the worst person here to ask, though. Yeah. Our producer didn't come on and tell us off, so we're all right.
Yeah, we're all right. Okay, I can do my maths. I've got a science degree now. Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's the first time I could say that. Up until now, it was like, oh, I'm studying to be a scientist, but now I am one.
And now you are one. Maybe Onic could take some lessons from you and how to defend against
Maybe.
with just a mere couple of pistols. Early flash from Famous, going to swing out. It's going to kill, though. Misfracture.
Misplaced. Unfortunate. Unlucky. But Zyx actually takes a lot of damage early on, right? He's low. That can hinder his comfort. That's comfortable. So many of these fights are uncomfortable, Kremer. It's getting a little bit tough. It's getting a little bit tough. And they know, I mean, Onic are the sheriffs. Don't disrespect them, guys. Do not disrespect the sheriffs of Onic. But yeah, boom, hold back, realise they've overstepped their welcome for a little bit, and are glad, thanking their lucky stars, they're still alive. Notices there's one beneath him. That's a very nice dagger.
Shiro's going to try and get away, though. He's got Severin to cover him. And with that, actually, Onic, they go back, they set their gaze back to Dish. The fact they've been able to disconnect from that fight on B is just perfect. Now you look over to Boom, it's all on Flip Shitter to hold what is going to be a huge attack coming his way. Tobotal's there as well, but the rest of the defense are low.
You kind of want Flip Shitter to be the guy there and waiting. Bottle will be smoked off. Flip Shitter with a spec. Ah! Okay, all right, there's a jumping Manny at his feet. Bottle moves out of the smoke and surprises everybody, and so does Blaze King. And Boom win the round without any problems.
They win the round without any problems, but my God, for a moment do we sweat. Onic, they had tagged those final 3 players down below 50 HP. They would have had serious problems if that turned into a 3 versus 3, or if Votal and Blaze King weren't able to get that second after that first kill. Really, really strong stuff from both players, and what it means for Boom, though, is it means it'll be a couple of Spectres, the odd Frenzy, up against the full buy of Onic. Unable to bring out any premium weapons, which means that for Onic, the odds are definitely in their favour here. Boom's response may very well be some aggression here, planned to assault this backline of A.
Ooh, Flip Shitter's just walked past Monia. Monia's right behind him. Oh no, instead, he falls back and is actually stabilised.
That's a spike.
The standings. That is a spike. Boom is actually on the back foot here. They're the ones on the flank. Monia turns around and gets a few, but Famous is still alive. How is Famous still alive? Only takes the ropes to find himself at the back of his opposition. And yeah, no, that was a crazy one, Kremer. Break it down for me, because that was quick.
Crazy one. So Boom's idea was to be able to collapse onto Onic's attack because they knew they were going to be heading over to A with the early information from the dagger. Fortunately, Onic, they also wanted to go aggressive. So by the time Onic landed their attack, Boom, they were only able to catch out the spike. Onic, playing very damn well, used the initial flank of Elmumor to come back around to catch out the flanking players, which they then used in synchronization with their push to try and get that spike. They do so, the final players of Boom are cleaned up. It's a quick mop up, and now as we head into round 16, there are a few Spectres on either side, which means that this is going to be interesting, and it could very well be clutch territory. A lot of players went away from their ults, which means that we could be seeing some spontaneous use of abilities, Pavlos.
I love that throughout that.
Right here.
What we took as a conclusion is that, so this will be interesting. Yeah. This will be interesting. But it will be. Damn well will be.
It will be.
There is no better way to describe it. There really isn't. Accurately put. And now heading towards this B side, or it seems it looks like it for now. Bit of a split. Bit on the safer side on both ends. It seems like both teams don't really want to make 2 mistakes, and characteristically from what we've seen so far in this series.
Dagger used, or planned to be used, as Onic go for a fairly late control of A here. Over on Boom, Blaze King and Flip Shitter are the players to watch out for. One away from a Tour de Force and an Orbital Strike. Blaze King Orbital Strike here will be the make or break.
Yeah, no, Onic are definitely doing a lot of noise crossing forwards here as soon as the aftershock comes forth. Monia actually pushes before the last aftershock blast ends, which will surprise them in regards to spraying them down and giving an opportunity to get in sight. The spike will be going down. Onic survive with all, even though they've got more Spectres than Boom. It seems they may have a chance. Severin will still be alive to make sure they cannot use their abilities, which is important because Moniet can now flow in without fearing for his life. NC Slasher and Moniet keep it going, looking to bring Severin back to life as Blaze King is wondering, do I step into this fire and try to interrupt? Well, his life is interrupted, and it's Onic to extend their lead.
Out of those doors, it's out of the frying pan into the fires of Onic. The blazes of glory echo as they get their 9th round. And for Boom, yes, there are ultimates to aid them in their way, but the weapons certainly won't. The Sword of Force is going to have to be their sole survivor of this round. It has to be the sole savior of this round, because Onic, now with a weaponry advantage, are going to get that much more scary. Beautiful use of the null command. Once it came online, it's now allowed Onic to get 3 ultimate abilities readily available to try and wield against Boom's defense.
And Onic switching up the pace once again. Monnier is feeling himself. He's just dashing through this map, making it difficult for everyone to pick up kills. And as soon as Tekbodo wants to drop, it seems that Shiro is there to help his teammate out. Flipshiller is locked in a really tough spot. Yes, he has to rendezvous, otherwise he would have been in trouble. He would have been pincered in, and now is with his teammates. But what is important with this round is that Boom are with pistols. Therefore, Onic can play things safely. Oh no, did I just speak too fast? Did I really just do that? Flip Shitter?
That is no pistol in the hands of Flip Sugar.
It really isn't. Orbital strikes, Rolling Thunder. It seems that Boom really want to go for this, but Monnier isn't giving them a chance. What's a spray down? Flip Shitter, though, keeping them in the contention. That's a triple for him. And Blaze King isn't one to shy away from with a Sheriff. And Shiro is low. He's 1 bullet away with no man on the gun. Oh, Blaze King gets it. And now it's down to Monnier. The turnaround. Oh, the drive. Flip Shitter with 4 puts Boom in the victory seat.
The tour de force from Flip Shitter, followed up by the Vandal, brings Boom their 8th. No weapons, no worries. It's the Thrifty to bring Boom their 8th. Onic, they do like their longer games, but hey, you got to admit, this may be getting a little bit close for comfort. 1 round hangs in the balance between these 2 teams, and the economy is certainly going to be tested here as we see ults committed as well. Now the stress is going to start getting to these teams.
The impact Flip Shitter has had this series has been impeccable, and it might have just thrown Onic in a really, really difficult spot. It's like they've built a well and dropped them in there.
Yep, instant timeout from Onic as well. Really, really well timed. Yes, they have money for reinvestment, but they've got to figure out, do they commit the tour de force? Do they use that orbital strike? Severin right now is having an incredible map. Even though he's only on 5 kills, it's the 15 assists which is really catching my eye. Setting up, he's the reason NC Slasher and Elmimore are doing so good. The issue is, though, Boom, right now they're doing that a bit better with Flip Shitter hitting the impact frags.
Well placed, because they really are impact frags.
Yeah, they really, really
It's not like he's getting 1 or 2 and they lose a round. No, he influences the entirety of the round.
More importantly, Tobozel, he's got the Rolling Thunder as well. So the counter utilities in place for Boom. This could be the start, the war drums of their comeback. They have, of course, Elmimore on the flank. The rest of Onic get ready to assault this B site. Surely, Pavlos, the grand final, the rivalry, the symphony of what has been carnage throughout this tournament. Surely it doesn't end in only 3 maps.
Surely not. Surely not. We want to see all 5 given to us. But Boom definitely don't want to see that. They want to close it as soon as possible. They want to show that they're dominant in this region and they deserve to be in the international stages. They deserve to be in Istanbul. No! And Tekbodo is shouting, "Give me Turkey, baby! I'm coming to you!" 0 is all that remains, but not for too long. The score has just been equalised.
9-2-9. Onic now on the back foot. They've lost their momentum, and this is off the back of a timeout as well. They now don't have any way to call for help. They're not trapped. Boom isn't trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with Boom. And right now, it's going to be damn difficult for Boom to try and lose this momentum. They have that operator. They've got the rifles to back it up. They have the null command and the rolling thunder. The null command's not going to be needed. Onic don't have ults. They don't have cash either, Pavlos. They somehow scrabble this sort of weak half not by with a few classics in the mix. We'll see what they can get done with it, but Boom, fast to rotate.
I mean, if you're Onic right now, where's your morale? What are you thinking? How do you come back from this? How do you put your head down and just think round by round? How do you even do that? It's so tough. Shiro with 1, Berserks with a trade, but still with lesser weapons, Onic need much more than this.
They are able to retrieve the Vandal, so they do have something to wield here. But for the rest of Onic, they look like they want to stack together and get ready to hit this A site. But that means running into Flip Shitter, and let's be honest, that's not something anyone wants to do.
Yeah, no. It probably would be the best decision if they went towards the A site, because it is that one player, and if you do miss your first shot, Flip Shitter, I mean, he can't rendezvous away now. He's going to have to run away, and he might be going into the arms of Severine. That's exactly what happens. And getting the denial with a dagger mean that the trademark didn't spot him either. That is perfect.
The point blank
but the Rolling Thunder is definitely going to deny it.
He delays it, but to what avail?
Moore, that's the shot. Flash coming through. NC Slasher, what a shot! Berserk's in the fight, but NC Slasher and Monya are having none of it. They don't want to give away this chance. They are the first to get to the double digit.
Just as we feel like we're ruling Onic out on momentum, they come straight back. And Severin, we said, yeah, he's not being able to kill very much, but oh my God, Pavlos, these assists have been perfect. That's Dagger shutting down the operator of Flip Shitter. We said no one wants to run into him because he's that damn good. But when you're outflanking him, that is perfect. And you see from Berserks, even at the end there, that little flash of brilliance shutting down 2 players, but it's just not enough. Onic back into the lead, 10-9. And now they're desperately going to try and hold onto this lead. A few of their players down to 0 in credit score. So much is invested in this. If Boom lose it, they're down to Onico. Onic tried to close out the map. If they lose it, Boom, they are straight back into this. A must-win round in what is turning out to be the pinnacle of Apac Valorant.
And Paper X and Exertion aren't in this tournament at all, even, right? They're like... Yeah. They've already qualified. They don't need to go through this double bracket process.
Either of these teams, they have earned to have their name next to Paper X and Xerxia.
Oh, after going through this gruesome tournament? Yeah, hell they do, of course. What a performance by both of them. Boom haven't dropped a match to a single one. Onic have only dropped to Boom, but if their redemption comes in a best of 5, then they've learnt lessons here, but God, isn't it a mountain to climb?
Truly is. Onic, they get ready for this rotation back around to hit B, but it's the lurking play of Elmimore you need to keep an eye on. Almost getting caught out. Does he anticipate it?
Flame is actually on his own onto the site here. What can he do? Oh no! That's 1 kill at least, but it's quickly traded, and Onic have got site control.
Flag goes down as well. The flank's actually been avoided perfectly.
But it seems like Elmimore is wary of it, still gets 1, but these trades are so back and forth. It means that we're teeter-tattering across equal footing. 3 versus 3. Berserks wants to go in, even though the fragment is there. He knows he stunned up Severin. He knows this is a perfect chance for it. And Blaze King and Tech Bottle will do the rest. Onic aren't going anywhere. Boom want to be right up there with them.
The confidence, the bravery from the members of Boom, from Berserks to go through a fragment and then take a gunfight afterwards with an opponent who knows you're coming, to then win that and have your team all push into that site. Every single one lands their shots. It's 1 kill each, and with that, Boom equalize. Look at the economy of Onic. It's just about salvageable, but this Rolling Thunder on Shiro, this needs to be one of the best Rolling Thunders he's ever hit in his career. Onic, they prepare another hit away. This time, the flank of Elmimore is no longer on the opposite side of the map. They realize the aggression of Boom is to be anticipated. They're going to try and punish that with this hit away.
But they're not going for it straight away. They're allowing themselves to breathe, as well as us, as well as the viewers. But it only took a second. You only need 2 seconds to take a deep breath. Then they'll just amp up the pressure again. They find it clear. Flip Shitter has been smoked off, and so have the rest. Monyet gives the call that the coast is clear for them to push. Right here. But that is a greedy position to get the spike down. And even though they do get it down, it's costly.
That's Rolling Thunder gone as well. What a huge kill for Boom.
Ooh. Berserk's used an overdrive, and he just wasted it because Monyet is able to shut him down. Though that means that he has to move out into the open because of the fragment. Elmimore! Oh, Elmimore! But that's only 1. That is only 1. And NC Slash's position is fully telegraphed. Boom, with a better buy, end up on top. but that was stressful.
Only a handful of rounds hang in the balance, Pavlos. Yes, we were 2 maps up, but they're only about 4 or 5 rounds up, is to give you a scope as to how closely matched these teams are. Onic just about suffering there. If they had that Rolling Thunder, this could have been a very, very different story. They hold on to it once again for another round. Pavlos, they are running out of time. 1 buy potentially left in Onic, and look at the ults of both teams, particularly Onic, Severin, Elmior, NC Slasher, all 1 away from bringing them online. And for Onic, it's the same strategy. This huge pushed away, spearheaded by Munyet.
After Onic gaining quite a lead now on the attacking, it's Boom to turn the tide around and be the ones in the driver's seat. It's Munyet to enter the A site. It seems we're in an A site simulator for the past few, but it has been working out sometimes. But Boom, their retakes have been impeccable. Might not even come down to the retakes. Elmior is already dead. The spike hasn't even gone down, but they're still putting on the pressure. Munyet sprayed through the smoke. He ends up dying. Still a 3 versus 4, so Boom have a good chance in this if they put their chips at the right basket, but they need to be careful of the flank, because there is a KO of Famous on the back foot. NC Slasher, the timing! He hears the bullets flying at him. Famous draws out the flash, and that is his downfall, because NC Slasher is looking away. Down to 3v3. This is as close as it could be. Severin close by. It's Shiro with a kill. Severin again with a fragment. Look at the sideline. Flipshitter, can he do it? And now it's a duel. Oh my god! All but a strike. That's a delay. Out into safety, but 10 points of health. And he realizes he has no time. He's going to fall back and save the Vandal. Holy moly! Was that a close one?
Onic, by the skin of their teeth, are able to equalize. An incredible setup once again by NC Slasher. That dagger prevented the follow-up utility from being able to shut down Shiro, meaning Shiro could take Angels, meaning Shiro could isolate players, and he does so beautifully. What a round from Onic, and sure, Boom make it close, but that flank from Famous, the fact NC Slasher was able to read it was just incredible. Severin once again looking to lead in the assists. 16 to his name here. And only a couple of rounds hang in the balance. The buy is shaky. Tour de Force comes out from both teams. What can these big scary Frenchmen with their big scary guns do? Pavlos.
What can they do?
This game is on a knife's edge.
It really is. But Onic is the heaviest one here, so they could fall given that they are down 2 maps. No margins for error. They need 2 in a row. They need 2 consecutive ones. Shiro, will he find his way back to safety? Yes, he's got tower control together with the rest of his teammates, but there's a Rolling Thunder waiting.
Right there.
Deck Birdle is looking to line it up. Oh, that could catch 3 players. And I believe it catches 2. Berserks now looking to push forward. Can they protect each other? It looks like they can. They're not affected by it. Stun to the back end. There'll be more challenge. Oh! Still connects it. And Shiro is there. The rest of them looking to follow through. Famous with a double. That opens things up. But Elmior's still alive. It's the few stuff away. Incendiary out his feet. He's being burnt alive. And he walks out of the flames to try and salvage this round. They all have to fall as Elmior and NC Slasher pick them up 1 by 1. It's Onic now on map points.
Map points, Pavlos. They want to take us to Icebox. Onic's map pick of Icebox, and with that we could have a genuine 5-map series. Remember, we end it on Split. What could potentially be the final time we see Split in Apac competitive play?
We may be getting ahead of ourselves because Boom have another chance. Right, this is 1 round, yes, from victory for Onic.
That's true.
Yes, a victory for overtime.
The reverse
1 round
sweep.
away from it, at least.
The reverse sweep would make history. Boom's buy, it is not good. They need to be able to hold this with judges, specters, and everything in between.
Oh, look at
as
this.
Onic descend on them.
Oh, look at this. Stun onto Blaze King, accurately placed. Overdrive coming forth. The dash is in as well. Onic are feeling it. They want to end it here. Rolling Thunder coming forth. They want to guarantee it. But Berserks has found himself a weapon, I believe. He's found himself a Vandal. And this is doable because we know how fragging works with this guy. He can come online, but this round is not it for him. It's Famous and Flipshitter to do it. Oh, Munyet, what a swing. What a flick. And there's nothing the rest can do. Flipshitter will have to fall. He'll try his best to stay alive as long as possible, but Onic will do it. Take down Fracture and give them another chance to get this series locked in for them.
Pavlos, put on your winter coat, get on your mittens, because we're going to Icebox. Onic finally find their stride, they find their confidence, and they do so in taking Fracture in a hell of a map, and just a taster as to what's to come in this series.
Goodness gracious me, Bind Haven, both for Boom, but Fracture goes to Onic. 3 maps in out of a best of 5 where anything could happen. And when Icebox is next, Onic's home ground, there is hope and potential we'll be seeing splits.
So long as there's hope, there's a chance, Pavlos, and right now there is a very, very big amount of hope you're being pumped into the veins of Onic after they deliver on Fracture.
What a performance by Onic. Barely scrambling the victory there, barely getting momentum in their favor. But guys, we'll be throwing to a break. The analysts will break it down. See you guys in a bit.
There are the views of Jakarta, where all the fans have gathered to a fantastic performance so far by both the squads representing the country. But the little hedgehog that could fights back. Onic get one here in map number 3. We're going to our map number 4. It almost looked like we were going to use our best of 5 to anything more than what we've seen so far, but it looks like we will. Digon here with Tash Bunny and with Quack, and y'all, it was scrappy yet again.
Well, yeah, I guess you can say that. But of course, that's what hedgehogs do. When you're threatened, when you're scared, you curl up in a little ball. You let your spikes do the talking.
The spikes really pierce Boom Esports hard. We are seeing a very different Onic this time around, where I think that this is one of their most different and most diverse playstyles I've seen so far. Their utility usage is just insane.
Yeah, definitely. I think part of the change here, we called him out. I called him out. NC Slasher, where are you? And he goes, Severine, I need you to hold this KO so I can go frag out. Gets onto the brimstone and tops the lobby. First time he's gotten past 10 kills. Yeah, I think finished with like 24, 25. Topped the whole lobby in terms of average combat score and was a difference maker time and time again.
There was another player to that as well. I mean, Elmi Moore, you were asking, where was he? Where were the clutches? And he really showed up on the chamber. And I think, all the frags are beautiful. We love him. But it's also partly due to the fact that Severine, as the KO, as the IGL, sets up for a lot of these amazing moments. I mean, there was that one round with the Rolling Thunder from Table Toll into NC Slasher's Orbital Strike combo. And, there were 4 kills in that round, and it comes up huge. Elmior, of course, chamber, clutch is just amazing.
Elmi Moore is more than just his clutches. Elmi Moore also is good on those lurks. He's not just a lurk, he's also an anti-lurk, especially on that round where we saw a very aggressive Onic catching out Boom Esports from the information of the knife, finally pushing up forward and catching Boom Esports' own lurks with Elmi Moore. So I have to say, Elmi Moore is an all-in-one anti-lurk, clutch master, it's all him in one. But I also want to talk about another player here. Let's talk about Monyet. We didn't really see him super shine on the first half, and that's because we are seeing him shut down early. But on the second half, it's a very different Monyet. It's a Monyet that is set up by his teammates, just run up to people's faces, get so up close and personal, and just, bye, you're back in the lobby.
Yeah, but that's not all. Again, Boom have amassed that 2-map lead, and they were inches away. There we go. Back to Freedom Units. Inches away from closing this one out. As it was Flip's Jitter that was just constantly being the one forcing the tempo against Onic, who didn't have the answer a lot of the time, almost more than half the time, but fell just a couple rounds short.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was really streets ahead. But the thing is, Boom, this was such a crazy series because there was so many back and forth rounds when we see, the converse IGL, Flip Jitter on the chamber, finding some insane positional plays with the tour de force, and not to mention Berserks. That one round, he absolutely popped off, timed the slide so perfectly onto the top of tower. It's you can tell that Boom still has so much fire in them that even going to the next map, there's going to be a lot of chaos.
Yeah, that's right. Again, round 23 when both teams pushed tower, and that was a hell of a fight. I think it was 2 for Elmi Moore, 2 for Famous. Both squads are getting to the point where it's making it difficult for us to analyze because it's just that clutch gene. Who's going to step up in those moments? We've seen people miss some open shots as we move on over to Icebox, but we've also seen them land shots that we didn't think they could land, they should land, and turn these rounds right around.
If you look at Icebox, Kami, this is Onyx pick, and I think this is a Hopium pick because this was the map they won against Bleed, and it was honestly so recent. Meanwhile, on the other side, for Boom Esports, the last time they played this on tournament was back during playoffs over in stage number 2. It's been a long time for Boom, and I have to say, we might be going to map 5 just because...
Whoa, no. I will not allow us to look towards map 5 because we have to put respect on Boom's name. They're the higher seed. They're the ones up 2-1. I love that story. Don't get me wrong, Tash, but let's go ahead and let's analyze this map first before we start looking past things, because then if we don't get to bind, people are going to get upset. They're going to be like, look, the analyst desk, they cursed us here, rather than look at this one. So when we look at how Onic and Boom line up on here, Quack, what jumps out at you at this? What are you looking for between these two squads as we move to Icebox?
We've seen Onic. They've got those post-plant lineups. We've seen Shiro's utility usage as the Sova. It's insane. Boom, on the other hand, like Tash mentioned, we haven't seen them Boom for the longest time on this map. That's why Onic are probably primed for this. But if anything, if Boom are to win this, we need to see some of these players step up. I mean, Blaze King, Famous, back at it again. I don't know if he's going to stick on the initiator. Maybe change up to a duelist role or something like that.
Again, Onic have been able to play this map before, but Boom have had their strats covered. What will work out? Well, let's find out as we send it back on over to the casters. 2-1. Will Boom close it out?
Thank you, Degon, and our analysts. This is turning out to be quite a banger, right? I think
Truly
we would have
is.
been a bit upset if we ended up in a 3-0. Not because Boom doesn't deserve it. They've done a splendid job, but because a grand final deserves the best. The best of action. We're both Australian? Question mark? Question mark?
Yeah,
Anyway,
question mark.
we're back to normal in regards to our names. No more
Yeah.
Pavlova and Cream.
Yeah.
But I think we need to
Certainly
start
not back to
breaking
normal
down
for
the
this game.
next map.
Yeah, certainly not my fault for this game.
Yeah, no, I think it's time to break down Icebox, right?
Yeah.
Because this is where action may come down. And we haven't seen too much of Boom on Icebox yet, have we?
Yeah, I think for Onic, they had the choice between ending on Icebox or Split. I think it's quite smart to choose Icebox because Boom haven't played it, as you mentioned, since Stage 2, and it means that they're going into the unknown. Onic, they've played it a few more times. They're a bit more warm to the map, and let's be honest, when we saw them on Icebox, they certainly weren't bad.
No, certainly not. And of course, as we do start to look at the compositions, we're seeing a Boom who has gone for something that they've been very familiar with back in Stage 2. A very familiar point as well.
You're absolutely right, and with that, I'm going to be interested to see how the Killjoy sort of works going into this map. I personally am not a big fan of Killjoy on Icebox, so I would like to be proven wrong, but for now, I am slightly favouring Onic's composition.
Yeah, 100%. Heading into this one, everybody, hope you guys are ready. Hope you refilled on your snacks and your drinks, because I know you probably run out of them after 3 maps. It's quite a long one. But it's time to enter the icy realm of Icebox, filled with snow, epic plays, and epic executes.
For now, it's going to be an early push from Onic. Set their games to A. They were umming and ahhing about going fairly aggressive. Using that Viper's Wall over on B was a bit of a fake. And because of that, Boom seemed to be fairly well equipped for the retake here. But Onic aren't going to oblige them just yet. They're still being fairly fastidious with their initial attack. And I quite like that. For me, it means that they are really making sure they don't get caught out.
And Boom as well are playing fairly passive on this, right?
Yeah, they are. That's excluding Berserks, who is looking to push a little bit over on B.
Yeah. On the A side, though, fairly reserved. And that's where Onic are looking to take their first approach. Severine to entry. It seems that Boom have kind of got an idea, right? No presence shown anywhere. Staff from info, really, right?
And they are. Now the acceleration comes in. This will be a plant and potentially a 5v5 retake here for Boom.
Yeah, very much could be. Oh, Tefodal actually pushing up. Snake Bite's throwing at him. Plant at the top, which means pretty much visible from anywhere on this site. It's good for Onic for sure, having the space to do that. And already with the numbers, it's going to get tough. Berserk's Entry King doing it again, looking for more. Berserk's doubling up. NC Slasher unable to do so. Onic now on the back foot, actually. And Severine may be in trouble. Does damage, falls back. Do they know how far back, though? Tech Bottle aggresses. And now Elmi Moore is all by himself. He can't find the head. Or can he? He can! And already on the pistol, we're seeing action. But he's not in a position to deny the third diffuser Tech Bottle. And it's Boom to gain the first round of this map.
Absolutely perfect. I'll tell you what, Boom, for a moment there, they looked like they were in serious trouble. Purely because we ended up seeing them use all of their utility to try and cancel the plant. It doesn't do so. The plant still goes down, and what it means is that they have to rely on their gunplay and gunplay only. Luckily, Berserks exists, and with that, they're able to punish the plant position there, and able to find quite a nice angle, actually. A cheeky one. A cheeky one, but it does work. Over for Onic, though, it's down to Sheriffs, but let's be honest, the Onic Sheriff buy is pretty much Vandals for most other teams.
Yeah. Fear the Sheriffs from Onic. Berserks has no fear, though, right? Ice cold. Probably should be fearing them, though. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, have we alluded it too early?
Deja vu.
Have I seen this place before?
Oh, Blaze King has to aggress.
No, Blaze King is going too far forward. He's shown his ground by spraying across, but Onic are repositioning to what is probably the emptiest of the sites, although Boom themselves are going for a pivot.
So Votel is in position. He just has to buy time right now as best as he can while his teammates join him.
Oh no, couldn't eliminate the recon in time either. Defoto, he's in trouble, gets one, traded, still flips it close by. They've got better weaponry, remember? The snake bite kill. Snake bite kill, excuse me. Now Shiro and Monya still on equal footing, but without the spike. And not much time.
No utility either.
Oh no, have to do it dry.
Either team.
Oh no. For Boom, this is better,
30
right?
seconds left.
It calms them down a bit after a potential of losing the follow-up. But here they go, move together. Move in together to at least get the trade, but it won't even be a trade. Shiro rips Flipshitta's head to pieces, and they end up with the dub. Onic instantly on the board.
What a round from Onic. There's no strategy behind that Pavlos. That was just aim out of this world. 1-1 the score line. Onic want to send us the split. Boom want us to stay the hell away. They are going to have to drop down to pistols of their own and try and mimic the success Onic were just able to find in what was some ruthlessly aggressive rounds. So Botal, what away from a Viper's Pit. Over on Onic, they are still a couple of ult points away from being able to get a few of their abilities online, but what they have now, Pavlos, is they have Vandals, they have Bulldogs, and they have a serious urge to assault the A site.
An urge that will be put to the side for a little bit, you know? You gotta be reserved. Gotta put the cookie jar a little bit higher to use more effort to end up eating them all. And for good reason, because it's actually Boom that are aggressing and they're the ones that are being punished for it. So Onic can subside for a little bit as they have just been freely given the advantage. Not that they didn't have it already. Well,
Through the
there's
wall.
another.
There goes Flipshitter, and with that, I think there goes Boom's kind of holding, potentially upsetting the round. Unless we see something truly disgusting from the Frenzy and Tobozel, I doubt we'll be seeing a victory here.
No.
Shoulder peek, teasing, so you could say.
It's like a game of whack-a-mole, right? It's like Severina's holding a hammer at the arcade, and Tech Bodle's like peeking up. No. Yeah, always too slow. Always too slow. Bless you, Kramer.
Thank you very much. I hope that mic don't pick it up.
Maybe mine did. But either way, you know. Boom. Yeah, no, it's simple. It's straightforward. I don't think they know that Famous is this close, but I don't think it will matter too much. Now he's been spotted, only runs away with one. The Vandals are safely within their hands. And the rest of them, I don't think they'll care about too much. And Blaze King will slowly be approaching. There is a wall there, so that's definitely going to interrupt them a little bit. Dinkaroo found, but all Onic can do is just wait. They don't need to do anything else. But this ends around really, Kremer, doesn't it? So this kind of puts us in a new point in time where Onic start this map off strong while they're on the attacking.
This is the first time we've seen Onic start maps with such effectiveness.
Yeah.
And I think remember, their map pick, they're the ones who are sort of amping it up, setting themselves up for a reverse sweep. If we see a reverse sweep Pavlos, I feel like we're going to lose our voices.
No, that's certain at this
acceptable.
point. Yeah, no.
Sacrifice worthy of the cause. And
course.
with that, Blaze King is
All
going
for
to fall
Apac.
to the spike. Another sacrifice to the cause as Onic go 2-1 into the lead for Boom. Now it's time to bring out the guns. It's time to bring out the investments. And let's see if they can channel that skill into matching Onic. Tobotal, Viper's Pit ready. On Onic, look how close these ultimate abilities are to coming
Oh,
online.
yeah, very close. We may be seeing some fights for Orpsia, perhaps.
But, exactly. And I think that for Onic, they've gone so heavy towards A. I think by the time they head B, they're not going to be able to go B straight away. They're probably going to need a rotation through mid. Zito Bozel committed there. No one else from Boom is going to be in sight, so it probably will be an early Viper's Pit from Boom just to hold this position and be luck.
Falling Cloud enabled, also Moni dashing forwards has been spotted with the recon. Berserk's actually very aggressive, right? Very aggressive.
And Onic are going to push straight into him.
Yeah.
Berserks needs to kill quickly.
No way you anticipate this angle, right? No way. Oh,
Right.
he shows his crown too early. He shows it too early and gets punished for it. Shiro replenished, pretty much close to full HP. And Onic are just showing the ground towards this ace side.
That works.
Onic continuing to be fairly controlled for the time being. They did try and sort of extend for an opening. Unable to do so, though, they head back to B. Now, over on B, Tebotal and Flipshitter are being very, very passive. They're trying to invite Onic into taking a duel with them. Shiro going to be the player to do so, trying to just get as much reconnaissance up as he can before the rest of the team join him. Severin, either the lurker or the spearhead, the tip of the attack. We'll have to see in just a moment.
I love that Onic do destroy the trademark towards the B extremity, because it also puts question marks to Boom whether they actually push through that. Viper Spit has to be extended to account for it, which means that at the same time Onic now have a choice to make. Rendezvous away, that's an audio cue to make Boom second guessing themselves where the execute will be handled from, but it is going to be the A-site hit that they're going for. Berserk though is in this corner, Monia yet to challenge him. He is going to pre-fire it, that's the headshot, that is Onic with the entry. Famous has to fall as well.
Oh,
no
perfect.
one will survive on this A-site unless Flipshiller does something out of this world. Monia will not give them the benefit of doing that. Dekbodal is just wondering where the hell his teammates just went.
Backs off and saves Pavlos. There are many things there which Onic did beautifully. The first one I want to highlight, of course, is from NC Slasher, who was able to hold on to, he held onto his Viper's wall all round. He then only uses it once the attack happens with the last 30 seconds left. It cuts off not only Blaze King, who's sitting on the high grounds, and that was spotted by Severin at the very start of the round in the first 3 seconds. They anticipate Blaze King has stayed up there. They read his position. Use that Viper's wall. Blaze King can't push behind it. He has to sit back. He gets caught out, at which point his teammates are already dead. Beautiful round from Onic, and now the only casualties they're going to sustain are the ones which are trying to hunt down Tebotal, holding on to the only Vandal Boom are going to possess going into the next round.
Yeah, and I don't think Onic really mind going for him. I mean, considering that the
money isn't
one's
bad.
most to lose something is Boom, isn't it?
Exactly. I think what we're probably going to see from Boom here is, as you mentioned last round, a concerted push for these ult orbs so they can get that tour de force up. I think the timeout is probably to try and extrapolate which ults they bring online and which ones they're going to try and zone Onic with.
Very calm and composed. Scratches to the heads. We've seen that before from Boom, and that was on Fracture.
Yeah.
And that is where they lost. Onic look calm. They all look calm. Nothing over the moon. Nothing over the top. Which is fairly interesting given the sheer nature of this series. I think in this map in particular, we haven't seen too many crazy fights so far, have we? We haven't seen too many back and forth.
It's been methodical,
It's been very methodical,
Yeah.
and the team that actually gains the advantage early tends to be the one to come out on top.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of the tournament we've seen so far.
Yeah, I quite like how structured we're seeing both teams, actually, because anyone can have 5 players together who can just pop off, right? But to be structured takes some serious skill.
And it's structure that they will have to come up against when they go to champions.
Exactly. This is like an early warning system,
Yeah.
right? And the fact both teams are doing so well against it is genuinely, I think, out of all the LCQs, I think Apac's probably the one that people are going to underestimate. That does surprisingly well.
I mean, it always tends to be the case, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny for us because we know they're good, but
I think everybody knows a Paper X now, right? I think
Yeah.
everybody knows that they can pack a punch, and if there's a team to not do well from any of these regions, it's Paper X to pick up the slack because they're always so darn consistent.
yeah, and I reckon that these teams would definitely join those ranks. Aggression from Berserks, spotted out, no kill though. Instead, Tebotal with the Vandal is going for a bit of an extremity.
He is going for a stroll, and he might be able to gain something out of it, but there are 2 players looking this direction. No one is looking in this direction.
No.
Oh, he's going all the way around, and the Saldron is not going to spot him. Oh, that's a kill, and that's a spike.
Down.
Given he's the only one with the Vandal, he wants more. Give him the more. It's only 2, but still equally sided. Unfortunately, those Vandals too far out of reach.
Yeah, they're too far out of reach, which means that right now the Killjoy is definitely going to be fairly lethal. But remember, Severin is so low on HP, he could be caught out so quickly. The utility is to be feared here, and for good reason. Suddenly, Boomer a man up.
Oh, this is starting to get exciting. This is starting to be flipped up on its head. Oh, Famous with another. It's Tell Me More left to himself. Tell Me More dies. What a flick by Flipshooter to put Beam on top to get a thrifty round win.
5 rounds and 2 thrifties, Pavlos. This is Icebox and Apac, and it is the most entertaining map in the pool at the moment for me for this exact reason. Look at the ults for both teams. 3 available for Boom, 4 available for Onic. I reckon for Onic, they're probably holding on to their Blaze Storm and their Tour de Force for when they have to drop down to an eco, sort of anticipating Boom to make a bit of a comeback in the mid-stage of this half. But let's be honest, Tebotal here, he got some serious mileage from a, what's just a single Vandal. That shot from Famous Pavlos, just disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Operator out on Berserks as well. And I believe this is the first operator invested, at least so far. And you see how Onic and Apac are really, really passive berserks. He wants to push into them, but Onic just aren't even giving him an inch.
No, they're not. They're not. Onic, again, falling back into their old ways of holding out, feeling out, and testing Boom's defense lineups. And Berserks is patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Yeah, we're all looking at this. Oh, the Aldrone. Okay, you got to break the fun here. You've got to break the fun, but naturally so. Either way, the entry does happen towards the B site. Severin goes on a stroll himself and actually gets shut down in the middle of the open. No opportunity for a trade, and that puts Onic in a really tough spot. They're already at a disadvantage, and Boom, if they put their players at the right spot at the right time, they more than are the favourites to close out this round.
Onic still have a Viper's Wall to use as well, which may make life very, very easy here.
But the Resurrection has brought it back to square footing. Moniet opens things up, and now Onic is the team on top. Flipshitter, how was that play? What? 3 versus 4 now, and it's Onic still on top. Spike will be going down. Blaze King trying to spray, but unable to find too much damage. Crash that. He finds the kill.
Oh, that's perfect. They're back into this. 2 versus 3 Pavlos. And Onic, while they are in up positions, 2 shock darts, 2 snake bites, 3 players to find, and a big scary operator on Berserks.
The first snake bite falls. Can they balance this utility enough? Slowly, they move. Slowly, they go. Shock darts, both of them used already, by the way, and they went on Spike. This could be difficult for them. Snake bite, when will it be used? It won't be used. They'll use their bullets and guns instead. Onic come out on top.
Sure, they come out on top in what is quite a laboured round, but it does not matter, Pavlos. They are able to deliver in such a terrific performance there. I was worried that they were using their snake bites and their shock darts a little bit earlier. Instead, the reason they used them so early is because they were trying to bait Boom into pushing, because they wanted them to think they were far back playing the lineups. Works incredibly, and we do see some serious ult commitments from both sides, which means as we go into our 7th round, you got to look at the ults, the ult management from either side. Onic with their eco ult. Severin's going to bring out the Tour de Force this round to try and counteract Berserks.
With all of Boom's oopsies and whoopsies, they now find themselves in a tough spot. Never mind. Why do I speak so fast? If they're running away with another kill here, this actually puts them in an ultimate spot, in pole position, really, to close out this map. Or at least to close out that gap. Berserks, he gets another one. The moment you underestimate them, they just come up alive.
Right, this Tour de Force doing so damn well. And with that, let's see what can be done from Onic. 2 players down. Yes, they still have a firepower advantage, but what good can it do if that Tour de Force just plucks you off one at a time? And boom, they've read it beautifully.
Here.
I'd argue they don't even have the firepower advantage, right? Because Berserks, even though it looks like he's got a classic, he's got the ultimate, right? He's got the Tour de Force.
A quick shutdown would mean everything, though.
Yeah. Well, I need 2 more, though. And everybody's stacked up here. Everybody's just waiting for it. Only the Viper is towards that B site, and Berserks just keeps on shooting, keeps on delivering. Never underestimate a smaller buy. Never. This is Apac, and it doesn't matter which team it is that is doing the upset. And see Slasher, that's the first, but everybody turns their attention towards him, and his life is short-lived. 3 for Boom. The gap is closed.
7 rounds and 3 thrifty rounds, Pavlos.
How is that even possible?
That is a stat. Onic, they're going to be able to move into. They're going to be able to move into a timeout here, actually, which is pretty cool because I think they're sort of trying to and ah about what buy they go for. Yeah. They can buy, but they're buying down to 0, which means they need to make this work. Luckily for them, Boom don't have any ults left. They do still have the Blade Storm to sort of fall back on. But for Onic, what they really need is a round that's successful, fast, and keeps everyone alive. I think a fast hit to B to potentially catch out Tebotal early on could be a really good call here, but the reality is it doesn't matter where they go so long as they catch Boom off guard.
It seems like Boom is the one doing the catching off guard right now.
Yes.
And Berserks has been such a big part of it. And I think he's only just come alive, to be honest, right? The moment he gets those scoped weapons, the moment he feels starting to feel more comfortable, he's back in it.
He sort of hits the starting gun, doesn't he? And the starting gun for him is either an operator or a Tour de Force, and then he uses lights out from them at that point onwards.
Maybe we can see an aggressive round from Onic again. maybe this
really
will
like
be
to.
a fast one.
We have seen something that was sort of toyed with by teams in the regional qualifiers was this fast hit to B with a rotation through mid. Not so much to sort of play like Fnatic did through Kitchen, but instead to actually just outflank the B-side defenders. I would really like to see that at some point this game. But for Onic, it looks like it's going to be a fake to A to start things off, while the Chamber is going to get ready to try and find an opening. But the Aldrone usage from Boom is just perfect.
Yeah, they gain all the information they need to make the adequate rotations. And Onic are left stranded, wondering how they want to approach this. This slow tempo has caused them to unfamiliarize themselves with a fast push. Make it that much more harder. Never mind, Monic begs to differ. Monic says, I'm just going to go in, guys. I've got blades. I might as well just do it. He runs out of and therefore brings out his weapon. But look at Blaze King. He's all important. Look at Blaze King. He can do it all. Or can he? Gets shut down. NC Slasher and Monic are having a field day. And they just take down the B site. Flipshooter wants to deny it, but the wall will guarantee the spike plant at least. But NC Slasher will be so stuck up against the wall. Oh, but he himself gets killed through the wall. Resurrection comes out, and this just guarantees the victory for Onic.
Berserk gets out of there and he saves, remember, because he had to use the Tour de Force last round on the Thrifty. Investing into the Operator this round has left him with no cash whatsoever. What it means for Onic is that they have reset Boom. They have sent Boom's economy once again down to ground zero. But for Onic, the issue is, Pavlos, when you go blow for blow, when both of your teams are just arguing in rounds, you never get an economy established, which means that your hunting isn't really an option.
No.
Going for exits suddenly becomes a lot more effective.
Is this what you kind of expected when we took the time out here with Onic? Do you think, the play they made going aggressively to that B side was what was being discussed during that time out, or was it more kind of a mental thing for them?
I think it was probably being discussed. I think what they were trying to do is, rather than winning that next round, they were trying to win the half. And so they were trying to extrapolate sort of how Boom's defenses have been poised. And I think they've probably noticed that a lot of Boom's utility is being held for retakes.
And looking at the utility this time around, we see Viper's Pit enabled for Onic G. Onic G? Onic Gaming, right?
Onic Gaming.
Oh, okay. Boom. They're not trailing too far behind, but they need a buy round win, right? They can't only rely to those pistols. It's crazy to think about that every single win they've gotten so far has been a thrifty one.
Yeah, exactly.
This round, right? They've had more success. They've had 100% success on thrifties.
I think now what we see from Onic as well here, where they no longer want to split out, they're just going for these fast pushes. Perfect. Catches out Blaze King. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, Blaze King just heard the dash and was like,
okay.
Through the smoke as well. Moniet is feeling it. And for Onic, they're thanking their lucky stars because they needed this tempo, they needed this pace. And with the Viper Spit falling, it just guarantees some extra leverage on this defense of the Spike.
It's exactly what we wanted to see. Onic, they go for the timeout, change your pace, win a few rounds. Now Boom, it's their turn to adapt. Remember, Boom used their timeout really early on, which means that they have to go the rest of this half adapting on the fly with a lot of pressure now being placed on their IGL. So I would love to see maybe a bit of a concerted push, potentially send Berserks over to B and hold it at range with the Operator. But regardless of what the adaptation is, so long as there is an adaptation, I think is what Boom desperately need. For Onic, though, it'll be a 6-3 lead and a very nice way to at least guarantee a draw in your half. And on the attack of Icebox, 6 rounds is quite a comfortable position.
I don't think we've seen too many situations where a team is leading by 3 rounds, have we?
We haven't. This is one of the unknown. Remember, Onic, they like their longer games, so the fact that they've started winning feels a little bit strange.
Yeah,
but
no, it definitely does.
Here's the thing: it's not like they're bad at the start of these games. Usually, it's Boom just play out their minds. It's Onic now. Boom aren't playing any worse. Onic are just playing way better.
And it's definitely reminding you of the testament that Onic are slow starters, right? But at the same time, you kind of see it with a lot of other teams, right? We've seen it with Secret, we've seen it with Myth. Not so much with Bleed. I think their issues lie elsewhere. But Boom, also, right? If you look at their matches against both Bleed and Onic, it seemed like
Yeah.
a lot of them had to be thrown right back up. So
The team
they're the
two
ones that
halves.
had the strongest start this time around. 2 maps, the cross comes in from mid, Onic to get the turnaround.
Here's that flank I was talking about, and Berserk's now is pressured in the corner.
Yeah, he's all by himself, isolated, taken down. Blaze King tries to make it happen from the long distance, and they're actually doing the good work here for Boom. They've gotten 2 kills. Severin is trying to deal with Blaze King before he's doing any more damage. He's being spotted, but he's being played with. That's the difficult part. It buys enough time for Famous to find an off angle, but the wall is used to find an alternative angle. That is beautiful. Blaze King now has a resurrection. Does he try and deny the plant, or does he go for a risky res?
I can't because of the gap in the wall. That's so smart from Onic.
Oh, goodness me. Blaze King is in a really tough spot. Unless he Slash and Elmimore can set up a crossfire. No, they're not even doing that. They're just setting up together. Looking to break the wall. They're literally playing together. Blaze King thinking about it. They push him. They take matters to their own hands and guarantee the victory.
That is perfect by Onic, 7-3, and I'm really happy we saw the strat we saw in the regional leagues, which is to go through mid there. It absolutely catches Boom off guard. And something to highlight there is, even though it was sort of opened by the missed shot from the chamber, even if he landed that first shot, there were 2 or 3 players behind it. So the strategy would have worked even if they wouldn't have won as comfortably. Of course, in the 2 versus 1, they forced the 2v1 rather than allowing Blazer King to isolate the 1 versus 1s. It's a really, really well thought out and executed round from Onic. We go into the 11th. Yes, there are no ults available for Onic. Over on Boom, they have that resurrection of Blazer King. They're 1 away from a lockdown as well, which may definitely aid them in these retakes. You see Flipshitter trying to get that orb.
Quick reminder, Boom are 3 out of 3 on these 50s.
Yeah.
Unless they're 3 out of 4.
Bit of 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Still, that's 75%.
Poison's off.
That's a worrying statistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
to be able to do that
But at
well.
the same time,
Sheriffs.
what's even more worrying is that it's all their rounds have been thrifties.
Look at this aggression from Flipshitter.
Ooh, could be a caveat.
Severin could be caught out.
He could very much be caught out, and that's exactly what happens. A could turns into a did. And he gets more! With a bulldog! When you've got 2 swinging at you, that just can't happen.
Not another thrifty Pavlos.
Not another one, surely not. Oh, Boom get caught though. They think there's going to be a rotation, but indeed, it is not a rotation. They're going for the commitment towards this A site, but look at this backstab. There may be a pushing Blaze King to enter the back lines of the attacker. Shiro opens things up for his round. Berserk ends up falling. It's Onic on the front foot. Tech Bottle struggling, only having a Sheriff to work with. Hasn't got space, tries to run away, but NC Slasher catches him off. Flipshutter and Blaze King try to do it.
Oh.
That's a Vandal for Blaze King, and Flipshutter has already done quite a bit. Lockdown. Where do Onic move? Where do they go? There's only one corner they can work away with. And it seems that Boom know exactly where they're going to be, and they can pre-fire it. Shiro with a double kill guarantees a win for Onic.
Perfect round from Shiro there. And Onic, that lockdown usage, they realise, okay, there's only one corner we can go into, but it does have 2 different altitudes. They end up going 1 on either altitude, and the assumption is that the second player's gone back to play lineups. The second player's gone back to play the spike. And with that, we see a beautiful catch-off from Onic. Once again, something Onic, their after plants XVX teamwork is incredible. And we're seeing that round after round after round. 8-3 they currently lead on Icebox, the furthest these teams have been apart all series. And this is including the series where they played against each other in the upper brackets.
Oh my goodness. The fact that it got so close again on the eco. I think it may be because Boomer feel like they've got less to lose, perhaps.
I think the issue is for Boom at the moment is they're trading kind of badly. Onic, they're changing pace from going to the, as we see here, this slow default into explodingly fast plays means that they're constantly getting an opening without Boom having a player in position to trade it because they're either mid rotation or they're being a little bit more passive because they're expecting the slower play style.
Well, Onyx are definitely showing their presence. Hunter's Fury will be enabled in an attempt to gain information or a tag, and the tag has been found. Famous taking down to 70 points of health and no shields. But is that adequate to start executing this take?
45 seconds left now. Famous is going to get healed. He's going to try and recon as best he can. Onic don't have much time, so if they need to turn ahead to B, they need to do it now. Otherwise, it's going to have to be a full brute force attack to this A site with 3 players to shut down.
I think it may have to be the latter, Kremer. It has to be a fast push. It has to be a fast take. Famous has got a good angle with the wall there. Severin starting to push. It's an off angle they won't expect it. Blaze King as well chimes in. They're doing everything. The spray down is perfect, and the readjustment is even better. Shiro and Elmimore, 13 seconds, and up against the 5 of Boom.
10 seconds left.
The first time a solid hold come through from Boom on a buy round is this round. They finally make it happen. They close out the half with a win.
You have to consider how frustrating this half has been for Blaziken. Blaziken has been in a 1 versus X about 3 or 4 times, and he's lost all of them. He finally gets into a position where he can defend and attack, and he absolutely shuts down Onic. We very happy to see that change of pace, and for Boom, that single round means they're still in this map.
It definitely shows they're back in this map. I think we were worried seeing where the hell is Boom, right? We wanted this to be a close endeavor, especially considering they are 2 maps ahead, Kremer. They're the ones that literally, if they close this map out, they are the victors of LCQ in Apac. But they're quite far behind.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? And
wait, didn't they win the round? Wasn't it 8-4?
Spike planted.
I'm pretty sure it was 8-4.
It was 8-4.
Huh. Oh well.
Oh, our producer just came on and went, oops.
It's okay. I mean, it happens.
Definitely 8-4. Don't worry, the graphics are lying to you. It is an 8-4. And for Onic, as they now move to their second half, I want to see, what I really want to see is aggression. I don't want to see them be too passive to the point where they let Boom walk all over them, because that's the mistake Boom made.
Is 8-4 good enough, though? Is that big of a buffer between Onic and Boom for Onic to feel comfortable on defense to close this map out?
I think it is.
You think so?
I think it is. Especially because Elmimore's doing pretty well on the chamber.
Oh yeah.
I think once you get the operator up on him, once you get the operator up on Severin, you start trying to boost his confidence a little bit more. Those 5 kills are going to soar up so quickly.
It's up to them to prove us wrong, though. Boom. Now on the 4th. Definitely will feel a little bit more comfortable heading into this one. Maybe they feel a little bit more comfortable now that they're on the attack.
It's been the same story on Fracture and Bind. Look at Onic. Their top 3 players are all within 2 kills of each other.
Yeah.
It's Onic just do so well to win as a team.
There've been so many games where we kind of see the top fraggers overwhelming the rest of the team, right? We kind of see teams ending with a top fragger at 25 to 30 kills and the bottom fragger with 5 or 6, maybe even less than that, But this game is a little bit more balanced out, right? A lot of players are bouncing in.
And with that, Boom are going to get ready for their assault to the A site. They're going to look to christen their attack with a huge push now. Onic on the retake.
It's looking a lot like how Onic started their own half on the attacking side, but now this is Boom's turn to show Onic how it's done. They want to guarantee and close out this series and take themselves to Istanbul.
Viper's Wall, same one used by Onic. This time, though, it's used as a fake, and I think Onic are probably going to figure it out pretty quickly. They've already got Shiro in mid on the shoulder peak to try and extrapolate where this Boom rotation is going to come through as they all look to push to kitchen.
Sneaking through the kitchen. There's a trademark there. They will be telegraphed. And Elmimore is quite close by as well.
Screen down.
It's down to timing as well. Oh, trademark. You do hear the audio cue. Elmimore does turn around in time. He gets a couple of dinks, but no kills. And now Boom have switched positions with the defenders. Now they've got full access of that site. And Flipshooter gets left behind to defend with the rotations. He gets 1, damage onto the second. And he wants to go in for another swing. On the other end, Berserk does his job onto the site. Monyet, though, is all by himself, which makes things ever so tough. On the spiky go, he touches it. But with the rest of them nearby, it's getting difficult, man. Boom are really not giving him an inch. Nano Swarm onto the spike to get him off of it as well. Berserks with a marvellous shot to start the half off well with Boom's win.
Remember, both our chambers were bottom fragging going into this half. Both of them bottom of their team. The fact that Berserk was able to wake it up with a 3K, join the rest of his team towards the center of the scoreboard is going to be a huge confidence booster, particularly because Chamber on the attack is just a much harder beast. You have to take more of a lurking role, which means your tour de forces are usually when you're trapped in a corner, and the fact that he's able to sort of open the pistol around with confidence bodes well for the rest of the half. Over to Onic, though. Now that they've down to Sheriffs, let's see if we're going to see another Thrifty to add to the tally chart, Pavlos.
Let's see if we do indeed.
Look how aggressive Onic are being.
Yeah, it's very aggressive. But I mean, it's a very far forwards hold, but not a fast push. Severin does get caught. But the rest of Boom is fancying this mid play, and it kind of is in anticipation of what Onic is about to do. No. Just build the suspense for nothing.
Yeah.
Because the fight isn't there, it's going to come out elsewhere. I mean, yeah.
He's only got a classic as well.
Difficult for him for sure. Ardrone will not be clearing it out, so opportunity for a kill too. Very simple. They're not going to check this, are they? They're so not going to check this. The way to game on! The last one does! Oh, 3 of them pass by, but of course it's going to be the 4th one to not check it. To check it, actually. Famous doesn't let anything fly past him. Doesn't let any player survive. Flipshitter steals the ace. How dare you, Flipshitter?
8-6. Onic, yes, they have a lead, but that cushion is slowly getting warmer. And for Onic now, a buy comes out. Guardian onto the Viper. A couple of Vandals to wield here, but that's got to be. I worry that's a tilter for NC Slasher. Actually, that definitely can be.
Yeah.
Over to Boom as well. It's a huge confidence boost, particularly for Famous, who's just had an incredible round off the back of a fairly successful pistol rounds. And once again, I'm a big fan of these early ult usages. So we'll see what he can do as we enter the battle of what's essentially fragmented by versus Vandals. Berserk's the Vandal of his own means that Boom's buy actually does have a fair bit of teeth to it. And once again, Onic being aggressive. This is a completely different way of playing their defense.
Yeah, quite different indeed. Now Boom. Looks like they're going to split the B sites. Shiro gives the info that he has no passage in mid. No viewing capabilities. Throws down an Aljo and spots out 3. All important information. Trademark will be broken, but they're walled off from the spawn side. NC Slasher trying to run away, but he's dealing with other players. Finds a headshot. So does Elmimore. Onic. As soon as they kick guns, they look pretty darn good. And now the fight ensues in mid. Moniet may be in trouble, but they know of his positioning. Boom are repositioning and entering onto the A site.
They're able to try to get there, but Severin's putting his foot down. The flanks are perfect.
Yeah, there are no smokes for them either to find the cross. It's Moniet now onto the other end. Just trying to just hold back the attacking side of Boom, and he's succeeding. He doesn't need to over-aggress. It's Boom that are in trouble. It's Boom that need to get themselves out of this issue.
30 seconds left.
And it seems they may have gotten them close to that. Still a couple of kills away from leveling the playing field, but they at least have room onto the A side to get that spike down.
20 seconds left. Onic, they were trapped in no man's land for so long there. They finally get it down, but where do they go for the afterplan? Onic have so much control around this map. Berserk's could be caught off.
Oh, the timing! Oh, the timing! Well, Berserk survives. He looks to run away, but it's still a 2v4, replenished a bit. That's going to help him. Help him take more fights, maybe win more duels. That's the first. Could have been the lineup, would have been impressive. Plays King at 60, but it's just too tough with Shiro on that far out corner. And it's Onic to find a first round of this half.
9-6, the scoreline is Onic. Once they have their Vandals, once they have their weapons, they can be pretty damn good, Pavlos. And what I really like from Onic, actually, is the instant reaction. Once they see that there's a push through mid, look how the Viper on the stage, the split second they get that kill, they gun it through B main to try and outflank the players of mid. When they can't do that, they just go outflank A. Really, really smart players on both teams right now, and it's really starting to bleed in game as we see Vandals on either side. The one thing to watch out for, though, is that we do have a fair few ults on the horizon.
Yeah, with the ults now coming through, you start to see that orbs may be of higher contention.
Yeah, sort of round 17, round 18, we're going to see these huge kind of elaborate dumpages of these abilities.
Severin, that's aggressive, ends up with 1, but means that Moniet will also lose his life. So, who wins that fight, Kremer?
I honestly think that it's Boom who come out on top there. Moniet can have some serious presence on that jet, the ability to sort of kill fullback, regardless of whether or not your abilities are on cooldown, is much stronger in my opinion.
And it's also the defenders that lose one player, right? So now they have to split their efforts to multiple sides, but they only have Elmimore on that B side. The rest of them can focus towards A. That's not too bad. Severin finds an opportunity to find a kill. Tabletop on the higher ground also gets one. And Onic on the back foot here, maybe in trouble, but the spike not going down yet. Builds time for the rotations to come in.
That they do. 3 versus 2. Right now, Boom, they need to make sure they don't lose a player. This plant needs to go down, and they need to find a way to get off this site as quick as possible.
That wall is nearly broken. if the spike gets touched there again, they're bound to spray it down and make it tough for them to approach this site.
It has been.
Orb is touched. 35 seconds on the clock, and they are actually getting back out of there, double backing,
30 seconds
pivoting
left.
towards B pass.
If Onic read this quickly, they're going to be able to shut down this attack. I think they're right now, Boom are rotating with very, very little time.
And it's such a slow rotation scenario of the clear B site
10
and a
seconds
spike
left.
plant with numbers advantage.
Do we see Onyx save here, potentially? I think once the spike goes down, there's
No way, right?
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
save. No intention. No intentions trying to take that fight. They back off, they wait for but a moment, and for Boom, that'll be 7 rounds, but they haven't been able to destroy the Onyx economy as much as they may want.
That's so anticlimactic. We wanted more, but no, of course, you have to save. You have to be serious about this, knowing that you're dealing with 3 where you don't know where they placed. For all you know, they could be out in mid and stopping you there. And, you know, you take a long time to get there. You'll probably get caught off anyway. You don't have any utility. It's a tough world to be Onic in this round.
It really is. It really is. And something I think is quite interesting is that Flipshitter, now with a lockdown, could very well use that to fake next round, because Onic, they have been rotating pretty quickly, because Boom don't play the same attack as Onic do. They're much faster paced, at least in their initial fights, which means that if Boom can get a lockdown in place, get it to the next site, Onic may very well fall for it. And you look at the kill separation on Boom, only 5 kills in it. Actually, the same for Onic. Both teams are winning as a team. They're losing as a team. And I think that's absolutely perfect to see.
Yeah, I'm actually glad we're seeing this. Like I said, it's quite different than what we've seen so far in this tournament. So how does this one work out? How explosive will this round be for Boom?
I think pretty explosive. All 5 players set up to hit this ace site. We hear the Tour de Force come out for Severin. Every player gets pinged, which may mean a warning sign. Either Boom double down, commit the lockdown and go for this push, or we're going to see a stagnation and potentially a fake.
Well, the Tour de Force is towards mid, so they don't need to fear it for now, especially with Onic falling
they're
quite
doubling
back out
down.
of it. It means that Onic are feeling good to leave the site to be taken over by Boom. Lockdown will be initialized to at least get that spike down safely.
Look how aggressive a lockdown it is as well. There's going to be no way for Onic to trade this or Onic to punish this. Instead, they're going to be able to go into a 5 versus 5 after plant with no flankers.
Placement is taking a lot of damage in the commitment of planting that spike.
Yeah.
A lot of damage. Down to 16 points of health already. That has got to hurt. Now Onic do retaliate. As soon as the lockdown is no more there, they are starting to push. They're with the first blood though, but so many Boom players are low. Blaze King on the Bannerman, not yet to be challenged. Gets a double kill as Onic players drop. One by one, they fall in the arms of Boom as they are waiting for them to dismantle them one by one. Severin with the Tour de Force is all Onic have left, but it is not long lasting as Boom close up the gap substantially.
9-8 the scoreline, and for Boom, they are really closing the distance now, not just on Onic, not just on their economy, their ult management, but on their title of the VCPT APAC LCQ champions. Onic, realizing the pressure may start to get to them, call for the timeouts. 1 round is not a comfortable distance. They need to talk strategy. They need to talk about how do you break Boom's attack.
Wow. Yeah, how do you break Boom's attack? I don't think it's a matter of how you break Boom's attack, but more of their post-plant setups.
Yeah, I also think that for Onic as well, they were doing really well when they were pushing to get the first advantage, when they were constantly fighting Boom so Boom couldn't set up for these executions. Now that they've been a lot more passive, now that they've sort of been shaken, that's no longer the case.
And we're seeing a big change of pace here, right? 4 out of the 5 rounds have gone to Boom, and on attack, which just goes to show how more confident they are in it.
You're absolutely right. And for the members of Onic, after the back of this timeout, let's see if there's going to be any follow-up. More importantly, let's see if there's the aggression, because you know I'm a man who likes that aggression, Pavlos. You know I am a man who likes it when the sheriffs do well.
This is an opportunity for Boom to close up this gap, but also start to get away from Onic, start to put them in the dirt where they feel most uncomfortable, where Onic have got no way of coming back from this. Remember, Boom are on the verge of closing out this series. Boom have got 2 maps. I know it doesn't seem like it because Onic have closed out the most recent one, but still, if Boom close this out, they're the ones that are closing out this tournament with a victory and representing APAC in Champions.
Look how aggressive both Severin and NC Slasher are. Yes, they're aggressive, but they're alone, Pavlos.
It's still a pistol round for Onic, therefore not much to be expected, but we've seen crazy things from them before. Either way, it's Boom to gain themselves the first one, and it surely will be a safe plant for them. Onic have a tough time to get back on this, as no one was close by.
They look like they're in a position for a retake. It's been fairly slow before that spike goes down. Munyet with the Blade Storm could be the difference maker here, Pavlos.
Yeah, no up-just though, therefore only a dash will be available for him if he wants to go for a push. You can see how he wants to find upper ground to maybe nestle in a headshot or two, but it's just too tough out there. And you don't think Boom will make too many mistakes, but Munyet will give it a go. We'll give it a chance. Berserks with a first. Nothing going in favor of Onic here, apart from Severine's shot, and it's Shiro to remain, but not for long. It's Boom to come out on top. It's Boom to equalize.
Their ability to be able to split crosshairs, to be able to make players have to alternate from angle to angle is so strong. An incredible afterplant from Boom there, keeping so many players alive as well. We finally start seeing the birthing of a decent economy for the members of Onic. Yes, a buy is going to come out. Yes, we are going to see weapons to wield, but will it be enough to break the tempo, the confidence of their Indonesian counterparts?
Now is the time to break away. Now is the time.
Truly is.
If Boom Esports get the victory, they put Onic's eco in the dirt.
They have the operator to fear. We have seen that for Severine. This is the make or break weapon as he looks to aggress on A with it.
If Boom get a win here, we may be seeing 11-9. A gift. And Onic will be in trouble mentally.
In terms of ult management as well, Boom have a huge advantage here. Both teams with a Resurrection, but Boom also have a Tour de Force in their back pocket and that Hunter's Fury. And that Hunter's Fury is going to be crucial.
Ooh, baby. Expect chaos these rounds. A lot to be played out. Severine, patient, and stops Flipshitter in his tracks. A very important one. Elmimore as well. Tefbodo just walks out of the poison cloud into his open arms. There is a resurrection available to keep things a little bit more equal, but it's still very tough. Monet has to be spotted. Yes, he has. Dashes away to safety. It's a 4v5 with a res coming out.
With that res out, there is also the option for Boom just to collapse onto this A side and just try and trade one another. Severin, though, he isn't going to bow without a fight, but it doesn't matter if he can't see anyone, Pavlos.
Now we're stabilized. Now it's a 4 versus 5. And now the rotation are coming in from Onic. Elmimore's position has fully been telegraphed. He's got assistance now, but the Nanoswarm falls at his feet. Gets one before he dies. That's crucial, because now they're still contesting. Spike hasn't gone down just yet, but Blazer King takes the fight. He wants to take them all down. Berserk joins in from an upper ground. Berserk's with a triple, and it's Boom on 10.
Boom at 10-9 in the lead. Welcome, it's Deja Vu. We're back on Fracture. The same position Boom were in on our last map. The same position Onic were able to grasp and grasp at the top of the cliff to pull themselves out of. Can they do it again on Icebox? A very different creature of a map and a very different change of momentum economy. Onic need to be as versatile as humanly possible, because right now doing damage, even winning with these sheriffs would be paramount to their success.
Can they do it? Like we said, Boom getting this win surely gets them a lot closer to 2-round differential.
The last time these teams played against each other, Pavlos, Boom lost 3-1 in the last best of 5.
And it looks like Onic wants to challenge this very, very early. Berserk catches the first one, and Elmimore may be in trouble, but he's trying to deny that space. Ends up with a kill. He's actually delayed the push, allowing his teammates to come in on time, but he ends up losing his life. Viper Spit enabled, but quickly dismantled. The rest of them do fall into place for Boom, and Onic are wondering, how do you approach this with Sheriffs?
Hunter's Fury is trying to buy time, it's trying to buy space, and it does work, but a bit of team damage from the Hunter's Fury as well.
Oh no. This definitely hinders their confidence, because Moniet cannot be more comfortable to take fights with lesser health. He needs to be as accurate as he's ever been in his life. The strongest shooting of his career has to be this round to keep Onic in fight. You don't expect much from them, but if they don't, it's Boom too darn close to the end of the series, to the grand finale victory. It's simply traded. Shiro with a Phantom could be doable, but famous repositions, and it's Boom on 11.
Boom now really trying to craft their way to a victory. Just a mere hop and skip from hitting that 13th, from toppling Onic, from joining the Titans, the gods of Paper X and Xerxia in Istanbul. The only thing standing between them and that victory is one happy head chug and a handful of rounds.
Boom want this. They're hungry. Hungry hounds. on the chase. And on the attack, of course, you better know they'll be sniffing their way in attempt to unravel this victory in their favor.
A strong round from Onic, but they're up against the tour de force of Berserks here, brought out to try and close this out as quick as possible.
A little bit of attack there in mid. A lot of pressure there as well. Cannot be at all confident. There's a lockdown and Viper Spit available for Boom. Crucial weapons on post plants. But it depends on entries if they can be influential on takes.
See Slasher, he has got to be the sole defender of this site. And who better for it to be the player who carried Onic through Fracture, and Munyet's the one to draw first blood.
You can't miss those flips, Shitter. That was an opportune situation for you to put your team on top, but no. Munyet has shown his ground. A little bit obsolete this game, but no, he wants to make himself relevant once again. A 4v5 and Boom on the back foot. Onic want to stay in this game, cannot let this go too far, cannot let Boom get themselves on tournament points. Severin dies, Blaze King on top, but it's also NC Slasher that hangs around in that area. Boom have slipped up and given themselves the advantage. Viper's Pit, and this makes things even more difficult for Onic.
Elbows trying to find the Sage in the pit, but he just can't do it.
And Blaze King repositions. They think they've just cleared it, but they haven't, which makes things so important.
That's amazing!
Albie with 3! Where did those come from? But Famous is here on the back for Recon Bolt thrown, which means he's given also the positioning of himself. War broken. Can he deny this? Spike touched twice so far. Famous cannot do it. It's Elmimore with the Quadra and Onic with the 10.
What a round from Elmimore to be able to go through that Viper Spit, to be able to identify each member of Boom, to then isolate Tabotal, the creator of that pit, was just incredible. Incredible positioning, then to alternate from player to player to player. One by one, the dominoes fall, and for Boom, that lead now just one round. Onic, they are not going to roll over and die. They will not give up that easily. And so long as Munyet has an operator to wield, Onic is still in this.
Onic are still fighting. They will not give up until the last round.
Tour de Force comes out of Severin as well. The double op setup, the double sniper setup, you could call it.
Munyet, he's done it again, right? Second time running, he's found an opening and he falls back into safety. The advantage is handed over, and now we're seeing the lockdown from Boom.
Lockdown deployed, will it be shut down? Looks like there's no utility to do so. Munyet through the wall here has to try and be accurate.
Well, the space is granted, lockdown respected, and Boom take over the site with the spike going down. Damage at the feet of the repositioning Onic players. But Munyet, how aggressive can you play with that operator? The rest of them have to start falling in, and Munyet has to take the back line standout. Oh! Blazer King, he misses a shot, but Flipshire is at the bottom end. Double kill for him. Oh, personal. Munyet with a shorty. It's down to Tech Bottle. And it's so damn tough because he's so far away from the fight. It's already diffused halfway. The resurrection has come forth. This is near impossible. Interrupted. But it cannot happen. It cannot happen for Boom. It's Onic on the 11th. We're going all the way. What?
They've also good for 2 at the end there. Suddenly, it looks like actually a bit of damage can be done. But Onic with the last 2 rounds on the bounce, I think just might be able to reinvest. This could be actually cataclysmic to their resolve, especially if NC Slasher can't reinvest. It's LBO who can't reinvest. One of the heaviest hitters just about gets the cash, but now Onic don't have the safety net. They lose this round, and suddenly Boom win the game, and the map, and the series.
Oh dear.
The pressure is on, and Munyet repositions with Severin. They know Boom aren't going to try the A hit for the 3rd time in a row. They know that right now Boom needs something to go their way in terms of getting these early frags.
Boom have just slowed the pace to take a breather. Feel out the defenses of Onic. They slipped on that A site, and it hurt them. They've bruised themselves, and now they're trying to replenish what was lost. Thankfully for them, they're in the lead in maps. This is not all means to an end, but it could be the last situation where they have the advantage of not being on the back foot, the advantage of not being in fear of losing this last chance qualifier.
Boom have made the right read. They're heading to this A site, the one position which only NC Slasher can defend, and they're playing the contact play. This same play for Onic won them this half against Boom.
On the A site they go. Space granted, Spike going down. NC Slasher might have been too far out of his depth there and had no teammates to help out.
And yes, had the extra Phantom there to assist him, but there's still a man down.
Ooh, Onic is on the back foot, and it seems Tekbodo is wary of Severine's positioning of the flank being taken over. Oh, it's who gets who!
Perfect.
And Elmimo and Severine both win on their entries, which means it's now Onic on the front foot. Famous has his attention span backwards, and it's only Berserks that is looking forwards. It's Berserks on the wide swing. It's Berserks that's looking to cancel this defusal. It's Flipshitter winning out on his kill. Flipshitter again, down to Elmimo, but he's not got much health on him. Gets the kill! Elmimo, is this really doable? Is there much time? I don't think there is. Berserks picks him up, and it's Boom now on map and tournament points.
12-11. No survivors in rounds 23, and for good reason. The bloodbath emerges with Boom being the victors. Onic without cash now, with only one round left. They can take us to overtime. They are in with a chance. If this fails, Pavlos, Boom emerge victorious.
They need to come out with madness. Onic need to pull far more than they can hold. Just pull so much, and it's just going to be so difficult against the full bite of Boom.
Onic have the Viper's Pit. This could be the difference maker.
Look at Severine aggressing so far forward. Viper's Pit will be enabled quickly, and he's got a judge in hand to deny any entries.
And look at that.
Through the smoke! No! Elmimo has just died. Viper's Pit is eliminated, and Boom are on the highway to success.
Lockdown goes down instantly. This is perfect for Boom. It couldn't get better. Severin already tagged. Has to be the defender to make it happen.
Has to do the heavy lifting here. Lift far more than he usually can handle. They need to come up huge. And Boom have got so much. Oh, Severine! Everybody's looking at your screens, Onic. Can this happen? Can you deny it? Or is this where Boom ends it all? Monier pushing up, so is NC Slasher. They're winging in and out of battle. That's a kill. Berserks has now fallen. Boom. They've got NC Slasher! NC Slasher denying it all. But the Spike is starting to be diffused. Can they get it? Can they get it? Diffuse up. They can't! Boom! They go to Istanbul!
Boom, they join the Titans of Xerxia. They join the Titans of Paper X in a monumental series in the Indonesian derby. They come out on top 3-1.
They are the LCQ champions. They are the victors and third representative of Apac in champions. Holy moly, what a series.
I cannot think of a better team to represent Apac at champions. This team, they can take on the very best from Europe, from North America, from CIS. It does not matter. This team can do it all. A hard-earned victory. Yes, Onic make the work for it, but what an opponent to have. What a game.
It would have never been heartbreaking for Indonesians, right? They were always going to get the victor. They would always get representation in the international stage. But holy, was that a fight that Onic were able to bring back at the end. But no, it was Boom to take it. It's time to let the deaths break it all down, guys. This time, what are your thoughts?
Pavlos, Kramer, great cast on the day. It is Boom going the distance and having to take all 24 rounds in regulation to get the dub. But they are your LCQ winners and will be your third representatives from APAC. And just immediate thoughts here. Just want to start there, Tash.
I am so sad. My broccoli